Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everybody out there. YouTube land, this is Moz coming to you with another episode of Moz's Toy Box presents Toy Photography Talk. We got Trevor, 1/6 shooter, here with us tonight, and I'm so excited to finally have him here on the couch, chair. I don't know what he's sitting on. I didn't ask. So let's get him in here and say hello, everybody, to 1/6 shooter. What's going on, Trevor? How you doing?
It's a chair, and thank you. Thanks for having me, man. It's great to be here.
Yeah, this show is still kicking off, man. People are still finding it and coming into here, but I have a lot of people asking me questions about it a lot of times in the streams, and you're one of the photographers they tend to ask about. So,
that's nice.
I don't know where Harry is, but he's
That's
late
okay.
as usual. He's on the West Coast. I can't fault him too bad.
Oh, so he could be still being working, right? I mean,
No, he's young. What's up, Mario?
Okay.
How you doing? H Green in the house, Uncommon Flex, JC, Noble Young, all those that are bothered to say hi. So let's do a little back history here. How long have you been doing toy photography? Not just photography, but toy photography. We'll start there.
Yeah, I was just talking about this the other day somewhere. I think it was the end of 2015, early 2016. So I think officially my first one in don't go back in my feed because it's not good. You should never do that. It's very uncouth. Yeah, so about February, I think of 2016 is when I posted my first one. Now I had been doing stuff in like groups and stuff like that, like the Hot Toys group, the Collectors, Sideshow Freaks and stuff like that. But I decided to put it up on Instagram, and I thought I was like doing something fairly new. I'd heard of like Johnny, Sergeant Bananas, a couple other people, Captain Chaos, but I didn't realize there was this big a bunch of people doing it at the time. So yeah, that was about then. I missed all that nice algorithm that everybody had that built up their audiences to like thousands like immediately as soon as you got on. I just missed that curve. So yeah, but so that's when I started, and I really haven't stopped. Yeah, loving it. Yeah, it's a great hobby.
That algorithm has throttled me. Actually, it's brutal.
It's still a pain in the ass. Yeah, I mean, I gave up on it. I just don't care. I put up what I want when I want, and if people like it, people like it. If they don't, I've gotten to that point. You know what I mean? I used to agonize about it and like really worry about having another shot. I can't wait a day. I've got to have a shot up, and now it could be 5-6 days. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't care.
I try to post once a day, but last night I was working on my diorama pieces. I'm working on these 6 scale stuff here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And, I was just hunched over this table for hours, and this is my back just went, "Oh, you're done."
Oh, that's what you said. Yeah.
I said, "I'm done," and it's like, "Yeah, you try moving now, and you tell me if you're gonna argue." I was like,
exactly.
All right, so I guess I'm not shooting tonight.
Yeah.
I usually shoot the day before I posted. I mean, I very little don't sit on pictures long. I hate to. When I take a picture I really like, I want to get it out there. And waiting until 10 a.m., which is when I
Oh
post,
yeah.
that's not enough.
That's hard, man. That's a hard discipline to have, because I do the same thing. Like I can't wait to post it, but it's really not great. You know, if I'm finishing up at 9:30 at night, that's not a great time to post. So I will hang on to it until like, 6 or 7 in the morning. It used to be like 6 or 7 at night, but I found that the early posts are doing a little bit better.
So 6 or
think it's
7
just
a.m. is working good for you.
Yeah, it's a little bit of less competition, I guess, is the point of it. But I don't know. I find our audience is like, they're more night owls. So I don't know. I'm gonna mix it up. I think still 6, 7, 8 o'clock is a good time to post. Everybody used to anticipate all the group posts, you know what I mean, like toy pops and stuff like that. And then even if you weren't doing toy pops, you'd post it up and there'd be a ton of people on there flipping through. So that doesn't really happen much anymore.
No, I've tried posting different hours of the day and stuff, and 10 a.m. seems to be my sweet spot. And even then, it's not treating me that well right now because the algorithm has been changed. Now, if I'm not posting reels, I'm not getting the reach that I've had. And
it's really disappointing, man.
Yes.
I it's like I'm on TikTok. It annoys. Can we swear on here?
It
annoys the hell out of me. It annoys the hell out of me.
Minimum is fine, but
yeah. I just want to know because I can go. But yeah, I never really took to TikTok. It's on top of taking the picture, and I'm doing other things with the YouTube channel and stuff. Now I've got to somehow create a very stylized video and then mix music on top of that and line it all up and hit the right tags. And I'm like, I just don't have time for this. So, it's like Instagram is wanting to become TikTok now, and it's a little annoying.
That's what TikTok's for. We go over there, stay over there.
I don't know why anybody just can't stay in their lane. Just stay in their lane. You guys are for photography. It used to be Flickr, and Flickr is actually a better place for photography. You can see stuff nice and clear, but nobody's there. I mean, nobody outside of people who take photos is there. So
I think I may have made an account, but I don't know. I've never really used it, so I don't know the ins and outs of that. It took me long enough just to figure out to use hashtags. I mean, if you go look at my feed, like the first 3 years of having Instagram, I didn't hashtag anything. I was just like,
and now they're telling you not to hashtag.
Really? Is that what they're doing now?
Yeah, they're saying if you over hashtag, it can hurt you for some reason. Who knows? Yeah. I put a few on there, half a dozen. I don't tag all the groups and stuff anymore, and every aspect of everything. If it's Marvel, I'll tag Marvel. If it's Batman, I'll tag Batman, but that's about it.
Well, my speaking of Batman, my Batman picture got tagged by Toy Pick Community. He does like these top 5 weeks or whatever.
Yeah, those guys are still active. They're good.
That ate Wolverine's momentum though. He was like doing good, and then it was a second post for me because he collabed with me, which I'm thankful for. I got a lot of followers out of it, and it was really cool. But I was like, Wolverine just went.
Like, oh yeah,
well, with that Wolverine shot, man.
That's what happens too. Yeah, you want to get something up, and then the last one hasn't really done anything, and you're just going to kill it if you post something. So
yeah.
Again, it's like it's easy to say now that I've gotten some followers. I've been in it a while, but it's like I early on. I mean, it was like in the last 2 years, like after having been doing this for a couple of years, that I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to stress this. I'm just not going to. It'll come. You know what I mean? Like people will come.
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with the algorithm. I'm not going to try and beat it. I don't know. I've been working more on YouTube and stuff and trying to get that working a little bit more. But, that's a whole other thing too. So it's a lot of work, man.
Fair enough. So, but I see that your feed has got reels in it. It's got.
I've been doing them.
In fact, a lot of your feed more recently is just behind the scenes stuff. There was one that I saw, and I want to bring this one up. Let me. I didn't see maybe it's further back, and I may even like the picture a long time ago and forgotten. Maybe just now posting the thing for it. I don't remember.
I think I brought one up from the past. I'll be honest. Here's the thing. You know that they're pushing reels. They're actually monetizing reels at this point. So if you've got a certain account and you get a certain amount of reel views, they'll actually pay you. It's just
Yeah.
ridiculous. So
This is a shot I was looking for though.
Oh yeah.
Because I saw the reel for it and I was like, oh, that's cool. And I couldn't find the picture. I didn't go all the way down your feed.
It's last May 4th.
Oh
No,
yeah, I
no,
didn't go
it's
that
2
far.
years. It's 2 years May 4th ago. It's 2020 May 4th.
Yeah.
I mean, the shot's at the end. If you pause the video, you can kind of see, pretty much see the shot.
Oh, can you pause reels?
Yeah. Just click it.
Oh yeah, there you go.
There you go.
I didn't realize that. I'm so used to not being able to pause any of their
you get a little triangle in the middle, but yeah. So this did really well on TikTok. I think it's just the movement. I think it's the interest that, like, you know, using the blue light to sort of ghost the three main figures and the fog and stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff that when I've done TikTok that's worked. That's what it is.
Well, what I really liked on here, and I wanted to ask you about this real quick. For one, you got a cool logo. I like that. The blue light that you're shooting down here, that's just a lume cube with like a weird reverse.
No, that's
on it, or what?
From a company called Light Painting Brushes. And they have a whole thing just for light painting. So they have these little cones that have a gel in them. So you buy a whole set of cones with different gels like built into them, and then you just basically put a flashlight in there. I bought their flashlight because it fit. And that's it. And all I did was like turn that on and off with the, you know, the button on the flashlight just to hit, so that it wasn't a continuous thing. I tried to get all three of them separately so that, you know, you get an even amount of light on each one of them and you're not pulling it across and somebody gets in the middle gets more, you know, Leia gets more or whatever. Yeah, light painting brushes. They're cool. They got some other stuff in there too. I used to use them a lot early on. I was doing a lot of light paintings, not a lot of light painting stuff, but I was using them a lot. I haven't used them recently, but they are really good. I really got to pull them out again. But yeah, light painting's a great technique, man, and I don't use it enough. I probably should be using it more.
But you could pull this off with like a lume cube and like a little funnel type.
Absolutely, right? Yeah, you could totally. You could take a lume cube, you could take the blue gel that's on the lume cube or whatever color you want, and when lume cubes first came out, I made a not a gobo. What's the term I'm looking for? Snoot by my, on my own, just because I needed one, and then they came out with one. So
I want them to come out with grids and stuff for their panel minis, because I didn't pay for the pros. I got the mini, and I'm like, I need barn doors, I need a grid, and I don't have a working.
Oh, the smaller version of this, right? This is the bigger panel. Yeah.
But those are
that'd be cool
RGB as well, whereas mine isn't. So maybe I should just bite the bullet and get the more expensive one. I don't know. I got 8 lume cubes though, between the cubes themselves and the panels. Yeah. So do I really need more? I mean, I got 4 of these newers. And they come with gels.
Yep.
I have that to light up my figures when I'm doing like posing and stuff for. So I mean, I don't know. Do I need a lume cube?
I find 8 lume cubes. That's a lot. I have 3 or 4. 3, I think. And I really only have 3. I end up using 3 every once in a while, but I find they're really good for very, very bright stuff. I mean, they're good for low light stuff, but it's also very focused light. You know what I mean? So I usually use the panels. Like I have these Aperture Omron panels that you can pop a gel into. I recently just bought like I think it's Wii Light, which is a RGB dial-up light. It's a little tricky to get the right RGB color that you want in there, but it does work. But these are great, and they're nice, and when they're on, they're a little bit less on their lowest setting. They're a lot less bright than a lume cube at its lowest setting. So you can get that nice soft light out of them. But yeah, I mean, lume cubes are great though. They're I mean, perfect for toy photography. I don't think you need more. I think 8 is enough as the TV show.
I do want one of those, like the big light you have over your shot. Let me switch gears here. I need one of these lights here.
Right. So that's
something like that.
I don't know if I should jump in with a stupid camera at this point, but it's I'll give it a shot. Didn't really work all that well the last time, but we'll try it.
Because I have no designated overhead light source at all. It's just me trying to angle cubes and these newer lights and stuff.
Okay.
And I need a bigger light too to give the softer light on my figures.
Right. I'm just trying to bring this up so I can just kind of walk you through without doing some wacky stuff here.
We got you.
The camera around because that's my face. There we go.
Keyboards. Yay.
So this is the stand it's on. I just bought a new wheeled telescoping boom stand for this.
Yeah.
So it's a Savage.
Okay, so that's the Savage ones on your link tree. Okay.
Yep. 1,000-watt LED with just it's got a Bowens connector to it. So if you've used any kind of, this is what it looks like without it.
Yeah.
And then I've got a couple softbox, a big softbox and a smaller softbox.
Okay.
That hooks onto it. So that's that.
Yeah. So guys, if you want to use any of the, or need some gear suggestions or whatever, he's got on his link tree, which is in the description below. And I did that because it's got all your stuff.
Thanks.
If you use his link tree there, it's got a link to that Savage. In fact, the light though, I think you have to get the 2-pack now because the single one is sold out.
Yeah,
but I wasn't sure if that was what it was. So.
You could get them. You don't have to get them. It's on Amazon. That's great. I appreciate it if you buy it through there, but you don't have to. If you want one, I'm sure you can get it through B&H or one of the photo stores or someplace else. I think I bought them as a set, and it's always good to have a couple. But for toy photography, I mean, when I was doing a lot of 1/6 stuff, I used the soft boxes a lot, but they're really overkill. You know what I mean? They're a little big. They're great for atmosphere overall, which is what I'm using for here in this shot.
Which is what I need. I need more atmosphere.
Yeah. I really did it because I started out like trying to shoot outside, and I don't know about you, but I hate shooting outside. It's awful.
I don't want to bring my Hot Toys out there, as I was selling.
Well, that's part of it.
Man, it's like $300 figures with little parts that can get lost.
Yeah,
I'm notorious for losing those. Like Mando, I want to bring him outside. He's a perfect figure to shoot outside, but I know I'm going to lose one of those charges or a tracking fob or something. Just no. So when I shot him to make it look outside, I put dirt on my table and was like, there you go.
Yeah.
Actually, I did heavy Mando like that.
I think you get it works for a certain aesthetic, and I know a lot of people it is their aesthetic, and it works really well. I didn't find that it was mixing well with the stuff that I did inside, and I liked the sort of more. I mean, I try to get a realistic look at it, but even when it's realistic, it has almost a fantasy feel to it. So it's not exactly like shooting outside. Like you can tell a photo that's been shot outside for the most part, unless it's really a tight shot or something. But losing things. I lost a piece of a Hot Toy one time out in the snow. I took it out in the snow and I dug forever and I found it.
Oh, you found it? Because I never found mine.
Tiny little antenna from Han Solo on Hoth's little detector there.
Yeah,
pain in the ass.
I know when I was a kid, I lost plenty of pieces outside. This was shot indoors.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's it. Like you get that light coming in, and here you've got a pretty nondescript background, which is good and works because it looks like it's very dusty and it's sort of a sandstorm.
Yeah, it's just a whiteboard behind them.
Yeah, and it feels like the light is coming from the sun over on the side there, and that's really, I mean, if you shot it a certain way outside, you wouldn't know that you didn't shoot this outside. So it's the way to go, man. You get control over the light. You don't have to worry about clouds. You don't have to worry about weather. You don't have to worry about something being in the way or a blade of grass being too big. And, it's, I don't know how people do it. It makes me crazy.
I personally, this is one of my favorite shots. This is my phone background now. This is because to me, this looks like it's outdoors, like especially the light on him. I feel like it looked very outdoors.
Would you use like a Lumicube or a couple Lumicubes over on the side there?
Here's the setup for that. So there's the camera, pan to that. So whiteboard, 2 Lumicube panel minis. That's it.
Yeah, they're nice and bright for that. That's what I use. Like I'll use if you go. I don't know if I did it in that last one. But I did it with the well, if you want to pull up the
I'm going back to you now. I just wanted to
document
talk about the indoor outdoor look thing. I knew my picture that was one I was going for an outdoor look, and
works perfectly. Yeah, it looks great.
Are you
There
bringing
you
this
go.
guy up?
Yeah,
this is beautiful. I love this.
So this is the background is obviously the suns are not lights. That's a background.
Let me add that.
There you go.
I forgot about that.
So you give it. So that's what the softbox give it. Because I mean, the problem sometimes is, you know, with toy photography, I'll see people trying to match like a background, and you know, the foreground needs to have, you know, you've got atmosphere, you've got a sky back there that's not a night sky or anything. You've got to have that atmosphere hitting the other objects that are forward of the screen. You know what I mean? So that's where the softbox comes in for me. It's kind of that ambient light that's just bouncing around the atmosphere. And then I'll use a lume cube in the place of like the sun off screen, or here I hit it behind the back of the Razor Crest to really give it that solid, focused.
So your light
light
like
of the
came
sun.
from that sun that's on your backdrop. So I think you painted that or masked it out later. That light.
No. That's actually hidden. It doesn't look like it, but it's actually in the shot. If you go back to the shot, it is right behind the tail of the Razor Crest.
Okay, so it'd be right.
It's right there. Yeah, it's just outside of the frame. It worked out pretty well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I try to do. I don't know if you're in ACBA or if you've heard of AC. I know you've heard of it, but I joined ACBA, Articulated Comic Book Art, for anybody who doesn't know. It's a group on Facebook. And at first I thought, you know, and I'm still trying to bring them along to realizing that Photoshop isn't the enemy. You know what I mean? They're very much about hiding stands and doing things practically, which I kind of dig. I like the challenge of that, but at the same time, there's a lot of people in there who are like, well, you don't take it into Photoshop at all. It's like, no. Photoshop is your friend for editing, you know, contrast, light, hue, you know, like burning and dodging, and you're going to make your image better that way. But I do try to adhere to like trying to hide stands. Sometimes I give up on that depending on the shot, but it's kind of a challenge. I kind of like it.
Now, when you try to hide the stand, do you rely on the healing brush tool, or do you, like me, kind of jump into the clone stamp? Because I feel that works better than the healing brush, to be honest.
Yeah, when I say for ACBA hide a stand, it's actually hiding it so that you can take the shot and you don't see the stand at all. But when it comes to taking them out,
Photoshop.
Yeah, generally that's their thing. So when it comes to doing that, I use a combination. Usually the healing brush for, you know, a majority of it, and then when you get it in tight to the figure and stuff, I'll use the clone tool. I'm all over the place. I mean, I've been using Photoshop since like version 2, so I'm all over the place with it. But
you're probably better at me than I am. Then, by the way, those goosenecks are awesome.
Right?
Those are awesome. I'm buying more. That is my plan. I bought 2. I'm buying like 10 more because I always need those. But I do need to get an attachment for, because this came off one of my shitty goosenecks, pardon my French. But I need to get some of these for bounce
clips
stuff.
Yeah. Exactly.
That will go on those.
Yep.
So, but this one's crappy. It doesn't even have a thread here. It goes on and you're supposed to screw it on, but it won't go on those. I already tried it.
Oh, they're on there. I've got a bunch of those for that. They're great for that too. Just holding a bounce card at the right angle that you want. I mean, I got the table surrounded with those things, man. It's like an octopus. It's great. I'm using the old one to hold the camera right now, and it was horrendous. It was so. That's when you said they better be good. I'm like, listen, man, I've done like testing. Like I went through like 3 or 4 of these things before I found these, and they're fantastic.
Well, I mean, I was reading the comments on Amazon, and somebody was like, you can't move them and all that stuff. I was like,
dude, they move so smoothly, and they hold
they're awesome.
They're great.
They move so easily. They hold their stance. It's like, wow, why can't anybody else do this?
Exactly.
Now I need one of those that I can put the regular clips on for a figure, so I can really get a figure in some good dynamic poses, because that's the other problem I run into with the figures. You get the dynamic stands, but they only go but so far. It's just like,
True enough.
you want to do
Yeah,
this
true enough.
cool scene, you got to find an ingenious way to stack the stand so it gets way up there or whatever.
Oh, that does have, you can't get it over the end of it, but yeah. Interesting. Yeah, that'd be an interesting attachment for that, right? Because it would work pretty well.
Yeah.
Where can you get the goosenecks? You can follow that link.
Yeah, go to the
put it in
link
there.
tree. And the one with the little A there, that's his Amazon page. You can buy them straight there. Hook Michael up, or Hook Michael. Michael was in the channel, so it's in the case Michael was in the channel. Hook Trevor up, man.
Yeah, the most I've ever made from that is like 50 cents. So yeah, that'd be great.
But you were asking me before we went on what I shot with, and I shoot with this little guy, the EOS M50.
Oh, okay.
I bought the Mark I, and I bought it particularly for YouTube. And I was like, I invested in lenses because this is a 32 millimeter lens and all that stuff. And I was like, I don't want to have to get new lenses again. So when I needed 2 cameras, because I want to be able to film and possibly shoot over there and film all that stuff and everything. Little did I know I'd be constrained by cables, but I was like, well, let's just get the Mark II because my lenses will work and reasons. This is great. Harry's here. Let me bring him in. What's up, Harry?
Hi, sorry it took so long. Can you guys hear me at all?
Yeah, just very fuzzy.
Cool. Hey, Trevor, how's it going?
Hey, loading.
Everything okay?
I think Trevor's a little.
Trevor's frozen.
I was frozen
there.
Oh, you guys were frozen.
A little bit.
Okay. All right. Oh no. Okay.
We're good.
Everybody's moving now for everybody.
Yeah, everybody's moving now.
Okay. Good.
Cool.
I know Harry had a lot of questions for you too, but
nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you, Trevor. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, same. Back at you, man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, like, switching, like, for I was thinking about it's the glass, man. Like, if you invest in that stuff, it's like I was thinking about switching from Nikon to Sony a couple years ago, and I'm like, I got too many lenses that I love so much that I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Now I just
switched to Sony as well, but I just didn't do it. Now
I just got a
wow
big investment in a 2470 2.8 Z lens. So this is for the Z.
Yeah, you got the
mirrorless
Z7.
Yeah, and it's like it has taken over every lens that I have. So I had a 50 fixed macro and a 40 macro. It wasn't the Z. It wasn't native to it. But I don't need anything anymore. I haven't taken this thing off since I bought it, man. It's fantastic. It's so clear.
What aperture range is it at, though? What speed is it? I don't even know what I'm asking because I'm not that person.
It's 2.8.
How low can it go, or how wide?
2.8. 2.8 is the lowest it can go. Yeah. But it's beautiful, man. It's so sharp. I watched some videos on it before, and they compared it to prime lenses, and it was like negligible.
Yeah,
I mean, like you had to be pixel peeping to an nth degree to even see the difference. So it's incredible.
For a lens that can zoom in and out, that's actually pretty good because the kit lens that start come with these is like, I forget, but it's not great. It's like
exactly that's what I started out with too. I started out with a variable kit lens, and after a while you start getting a little picky, and you're like, why is this so soft?
Exactly, it was the whole problem. It was like it wasn't getting the detail I needed to get in there and get that sharpness. And this 32 millimeter it shoots like a 50 on this because this is a cropped sensor.
Right.
I love this. I shoot almost all my shots with it. I got 100 mil, but it's, I mean, with my cropped sensor, that was dumb.
Is that a macro or no?
This one, no, but the 100 mil is.
Okay.
I think I might try the Nifty 50 at some point, but I'll have to put a speed booster on it. I don't have I have an adapter, but not a speed booster, so I need to get one of the speed boosters with the adapters.
Gotcha.
And then Harry shoots with a cinema camera.
Yeah, it's a little bit different than a lot of people. It's,
you do all your editing in Premiere and stuff, right?
He took me into After Effects to do this.
Oh, After Effects, right?
Well, not just that, but he took me in there to do this, to the Wolverine shot, because I was asking him, I was like, how do you get your light glares to look so great? You know,
The flares, yeah. The
yeah,
lens
this
flares.
glare on his thing here. We did
Mhm.
that in After Effects last night. That's why I tagged him as a collaborator, but he's since deleted that. I don't know why he did that.
I'm sorry, it's just on my page. It's not really my effort, so I'm like,
All
I
right.
didn't really do much.
You did my glare for me. I figured I could at least tag you for that.
I
All right,
don't think I deserve it. Oh,
Oh,
but
see,
thank you.
this is something I didn't know. Jason Michaels in the chat.
Yeah, Jason Michaels in, dude.
He
I'd love to have
I
him
didn't
in here
realize.
one week too, man.
Yep, I didn't realize he shot with the Nifty 50. That's interesting.
Yeah, so he's a Canon shooter then, because
Mhm.
that's our name. That's our Canon lens, right?
Yep.
Nifty 50. Yeah, I want to get that, but again, crop sensor. I really realized that the 50 mil is right where I want to sit at for hot toys for that
Mhm.
size.
It's a good. Yeah, it's a good. That's what I usually recommend to anybody who's getting into it. Yeah, 1/6 or even 1/12. Really, it's just a good 40, 50. I think it's a good place to start. I usually recommend a macro just in case you want to get in real tight.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good place to start. And those are usually pretty. You can get them pretty reasonably too, depending on your.
Boston, he's shooting with the Canon and 100 mil macro. Are you shooting on a crop sensor, Boston, or like a DSLR, non-crop? If you're shooting crop, man, I know when I had the 100 mil hooked up, I had even when I wanted to get into the face, I had to be like miles back.
Yes, I remember those days. I
like,
got
my
a
room's
90.
not big enough to shoot
I
this.
know I got a 90. I had to be across the room to get it. It was a little annoying.
Oh man, because I mean they do have a minimum focal range, and it won't focus. You just like, and I'm too blind. I can't focus manually at all. I have to hit the little thing because I'm waiting on bifocals right now. That's how blind I am. Just
yeah, I usually wear contacts or glasses, so I know the pain.
But I need bifocals, and I tried the bifocal contacts. I can't. Oh, I couldn't do that. I was like, my eyes are going nuts.
Actually, is that what I'm wearing now? I think it might be what I'm using now. I don't use them that often, but I put them in every once in a while. I think that's what they are. They're a little weird.
Yeah,
they're a little weird.
The general problem I had with the bifocal contacts is, at least the way mine were prescribed, is there was a maximum or a minimum you couldn't look too close to stuff.
Yes.
Like if you had this stuff, it's blurry regardless. And you're like,
and so that was the problem when you're you're in the eyepiece of the camera and it's not working. It's not working.
So yeah, I don't do that. But yeah, I was stoked he took me through After Effects to do that, because the great thing with After Effects for controlling those glares, as he was showing me, is like, you pull out like your regular Photoshop glare, and it's got all those different components, the little starbursts, so the lines, and then the camera actual refraction glare and all that stuff. And he's like, he was showing me, you can pull like individual little aspects of that out. You can be like, I don't want that one, and just gone. And then you just got the starburst and the line or whatever. And just like manipulating it like
very
breezy. So
yeah.
I was like,
I mean, you can mask that in Photoshop. You know what I mean? You can do some stuff. And you can, if you've got like I have just for my work, I have a stock photography account, so you can even get like flares and stuff in there that you can bring in and overlay onto things and manipulate those. Like I said, like Photoshop is like second nature to me, so it's kind of just, it's if I'm going to do something, that's the way I'm going to do it. But it was interesting to see you working in that, man. It was interesting for photographs, the way you were doing it. It seems like mind-bogglingly hard, but I'm sure it's not.
Looks like it's right out of the movies, right? It's just crazy the way he lights, and that's the way I want to light, is to make it look just right out of the movies. But he's landing it. Fat Batman's asking a question though. Says, what camera would you recommend for a beginner who wants to take pics and stream with it also? I'll let you feel that one first. I personally am going to just say this, because the price point, and this is what I initially bought it for, was a stream, and it works great for taking pictures. So
then I would go along with that. I mean, I don't have a brand preference. I mean, I prefer Nikon, but I wouldn't recommend that you have to get Nikon. So I would say don't spend a lot on the camera body.
Yes.
Even get something used. Check the shutter count on it if you can, and that's usually in the menu, so you can see how much it's been used.
That's what DSLRs go. Mirrorless doesn't really
Mirrorless doesn't matter. Yeah, if you're getting mirrorless, it doesn't matter. But if you're starting out with something cheap, it's usually a DSLR. Mirrorless is getting cheaper and cheaper though. But
700 with the kit lens.
Mm-hmm.
That's
700.
not bad.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
But
I would invest in a prime 40 or 50 macro.
Yes.
With that.
Yeah.
So that's really your key. I mean, the body, the pixel count depends on, that factors into it a little bit, but you really can't go wrong with almost anything that's even entry level these days. Yeah.
Yeah. I love this is a little workhorse for me. I love it. And it's got the camera software you can run on your phone, so you can remote trigger from your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Although on that last video I did with the Alien, I think because I was running 2 M50s, my software was going, what camera are we controlling again? I would hit that shutter and be like, I'm on vacation. Dude, my haze is going away. Shoot.
That, and it's almost it's got that stormtrooper feel, so that's cool.
Well, yeah, I had to get white because that's the only one they had. This is right around Christmas, and they've been back ordered.
Mm-hmm.
They've been back ordered all over the place. Even on Canon's website, they're back ordered.
Yeah. There is.
That's why I had a white one. I was like, hell with it. I don't care what color it is. It will shoot the picture.
There is that new Sony entry level mirrorless, and the new Z6, the new Z6. Although you could probably get the old Z6 cheaper now at this point. Wait a minute.
This is why I recommend.
There's a Z5 from Nikon. Wait, what is it? I think it's a 5. That's the entry level mirrorless, which is really nice. You can't go wrong with something like that. I mean, if you get, if you're trying to keep it under $600-700, which, in all honesty, that's what you're going to spend for something that's going to be, fairly decent, that you'll be happy with.
But see, at the price point, not a lot of them have the flip out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That can face the person. So again, this is one of the reasons why I chose this one at the time. So I know the Sony's are on this price range. It just had it kind of just lifted up, and you couldn't even flip it over, or the microphone would have been away, something like that, some stupid thing like that. And the Nikons, I don't even remember what they were doing, but
I agree with Jason. Like, really, you can do a lot with your phone. Phones are great now, man. They're incredible. I've thought off and on of trying to take some shots with the phone just to test it and just to see if I could make it happen, but I don't know.
Just the problem with the phone is I like to bring stuff into Photoshop and play with the colors, even on top of what I got. And you can shoot it as raw in here, but I don't feel that it is true raw when I get done with it. It just seems less.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get pull the amount of data out that you can from a DSLR or mirrorless, but it can be done. I mean, if you're just starting out to beginning with it, I would say see if you like it with your camera. Learn how to use your camera. Get a good camera app, because there are things that do utilize the camera features better than just your standard phone app, whatever it comes with for your camera. And see if you even like it. You know what I mean? Before you get spending a lot of money on it.
Well, Trevor, you had a whole slideshow thing set up here. Is there another one on your slide that you want to?
Yeah, I think it's on. Is this the one?
This is your slide. So.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's that shot. So this
is
one
I
recently did with the Red Dead Redemption third party.
What did you use for grass? I need grass.
So that's a moss mat that you can get at a Michael's or a Joann's or something like that.
That heavy of a grass effect though on it, because that's kind of taller than I have.
What do you mean? Yeah, it's moss, so it reads as grass. It depends on how you shoot it. If you get in really tight, see what I like about it is it feels like a forest. It feels more like there's stuff. Like if you want a nice lawn, this is probably not going to work. If you want a suburban lawn setting, it's probably not going to work that well. You can get away with it if it's sort of out of focus, but everything I've shot with is sort of a woods feel, like a forest floor. So I've got little tiny wood chips that I found somewhere that I've mixed in with this thing. It's a freaking mess, like picking it up, taking it out, cleaning up after it. There's just all sorts of crap all over it, but it reads really well.
I'm gonna have to get me some of that, because what I bought was something so small it's almost like a pool table felt instead of any kind of real texture.
Right, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that. I think I actually just bought some of that for that effect, though, for that lawn effect, that works really
Mhm.
well. But this works better for like a forest or a rough terrain.
All right. It'll be
I
in the
just
hobby
mounted
section.
these. What's that?
I'm sorry to interrupt you. It would be in the hobby
No.
section, like where they have the.
Yeah, you know where they have like, they have like the mosses and the stuff that you put in jars and things like
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? For those, yeah, it's that kind of thing. And it's a
Okay.
roll.
Okay.
Amazon has it too. And basically, I glued it to two pieces of plywood just so it's easier to like sort of
Okay.
line up and
All right.
and it's got a solid grounding. I actually drilled holes in it. I used to have trees that I would plug into there, but I've since gotten rid of those.
All right. I'm done asking about the grass. You can continue. I'm sorry.
Okay. So, the basics of this is there's a forest background on the screen. So I have a 55-inch TV in the back. It's not 4K. I wish it was. At the time, those were a little out of price range. And then again, I'm using the softbox over on the side. So that's the general, this was a sunrise shot. So that's the general sky feel of, the light would be all in sort of the east. And there really wouldn't be too much overhead. So I didn't have to really worry about that so much. And I get a little bounce from my ceiling anyway, even though it's dark. And then again, the Loom Cube is the bright sun, and that's where that sort of hits the figures and really creates those bright lights. Whereas the rest of it is sort of a soft light, sort of filling the rest of the spaces. And then bounce card in the front to get a little bit more of his face, get a little more light on there. And then I think I have a reflector with the black side facing them. You see the silver side, but it's the black side facing them, just to bring, because it was getting a little lost, a little dark over there, and that just bounces, because you would have the light bouncing around. That's the thing you gotta, new people, and when you're thinking about a set, you got to think about light bounces off of other things. It doesn't just come from one direction. Even if you've got it coming, from a distinct active source. What do they call that? A motivated source, like a fire or a lamp light or something like that. That's going to bounce off a wall. Maybe there's a brick wall over here. Maybe there's a door, a door or something like that, or a window, and it's going to bounce off of that. So you don't want to just put that light up there and just leave it to, that's where your light is. Like, a lot of people who start out, like I've pointed towards my videos with talking about bounce cards and stuff, and they're like, oh my God, that's opened up my eyes, because I didn't even think about that. And that's key. You know what I mean? You really can't do much without a bounce card. So.
Okay. Ace Green's asking more about cameras here. He says he's currently shooting with a Canon Rebel T6, and he's asking for suggestions on what the next step up will be. He'd like the upgrade now.
You guys are the Canon guys,
because I'm just up here with this, so I haven't stepped past that.
I don't know what to tell you Canon wise, because I don't know Canon. But I would suggest sticking with Canon, because obviously you want to sort of keep your glass if you've got something that you really care for.
Yeah.
If you don't, I wouldn't, shy away from a Sony.
Well, with the new R series, I think some of the other ones are coming down in price too. Outside of the Rebel series. So,
okay,
you could look at, I can't say what exact cameras, but look at the older DSLRs maybe, because your Rebel is probably using an EF lens.
Yes.
So your other DSLRs, you go want to do your shutter counts, as he was mentioning earlier, if you're going to those, but you can get something comparable, maybe like an 80D or something, or a 90D.
Yep.
But I don't know if you're really making an upgrade from that too, because I don't know what the sensors are on either of those, between the Rebel and those cameras. Because I know for a fact, like, this has got the same processor in it as a 90D. So, at least I'm pretty sure. I just said I know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure it's got a pretty good processor. I know that. So.
Yeah.
But the other jump really, if you want to do a Canon, is the R series. But then you're going to have to get new lenses. You can use your old lenses, but you'll need an R adapter.
An adapter, right?
So
I will tell you from experience, the adapters, I used that for a while once I went to the Z, the mirrorless Nikons, and it's fine. Like, if that's all you're using is your older lenses, your older F lenses or whatever. But Jesus, like like once you want to switch from, you get a native Z lens and you want to switch it out, it's a big pain in the ass because you actually have to take the foot off of it, you know, the clip for your tripod and stuff like that. It's just a nightmare. So
Yeah, it is a pain in the butt. That's why I haven't made the switch yet.
Yeah.
My intention before I got this was to try to afford an R series, not the R itself though. I felt that was more of a side grade for the price. For what I had, I really was looking at. I forget what the lesser of the two was, the R5 or the R6. I think it was the R6. I was looking at the R6, but I was buying too many Hot Toys. I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
I couldn't swing it. I couldn't swing the $2,500.
That's the challenge when you're the toy collector, toy photographer.
Well, yeah,
Spend
and of course I knew I'd have to buy an R lens because that was just the body, $2,500.
Right.
So not going to swing that. Yeah, Harry, you got any questions for Trevor tonight, man?
So that's the result of this. So I wanted to get that nice glare off the horse. You know what I mean? To both give it the feel of like that real warm sunlight coming through, and to sort of fade the horse into the background and focus on the main figure too. So that really worked out pretty well. And there's just a little light, like a dollhouse lamp light, that's behind the fire.
Cool. Did you get that tree trunk from Petco by any chance? Because that's where I got mine.
I did. Yeah. The one that's the stuff is hanging on. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the exact same one that I have.
Yep. Yeah, and there's one I made in the background that's more
okay
regular
that's
one.
cool.
But that's another great tip is Petco, man. There's some great props there.
Yeah, I was in there just the other day looking at their props, and they were cleaned out of anything that looked realistic. It was all the neon shit. I was like, damn it.
What's he talking? What are you talking about, Jay? Tired of talking to him and hearing his machine gun shutter go off in the background.
Oh man, yeah.
He shoots such low light. I don't know how he's. That's a whole.
Yeah, I don't know how he shoots those speeds either. Because I mean, I was sitting there, watching that test it or whatever, right? And he's got the loom cubes, he's got the softbox, and he's in
That's
there.
exactly what I watched. I'm like, he must be shooting like 2 second.
No, but you hear the shutter going the whole time, like, and you're like, what?
And then his ISO must be crazy, which whatever. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I had to raise my ISO to do that for one shot, just because I wanted the aperture, because I had I'm going to bring one of mine up again. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Yeah, if you're doing rain or you got motion or something like that, I mean, that's the only time I've ever done that, is really boosted the ISO and really blew out the loom cubes to get some actual. Yeah,
I did it for this one because I wanted that Predator more in focus than what he was ending up at the slower shutter speeds, and so I had to. I don't know why I wanted the fast shutter for the motion blur, because this is, I actually threw these rocks. That's
right.
So I need the fast shutter, and I wanted to try to get his focus in there. So, of course, the sparks are fictional. They're Photoshop. But,
yeah.
No, I didn't take a picture of but yeah, that's why I was doing that.
Yep. Yeah, so I saw the same thing. Like, I watched exactly what you said. It's funny because I haven't seen that thing in a year, and I'm like, how's he doing this? His ISO's got to be crazy.
Yeah, I try to keep my ISO at 100 if at all possible. So
yeah, I rarely go above 250, 300 if I can avoid it at all. And that's only when like I really need to, and it's rare circumstances. But.
Well, that Boba Fett one, my ISO at the end of that was 6400.
Wow.
So, yeah, I was like, man, I got to work on this grain, obviously. What's going on, Carlitos and Mr. Bitterness? How you guys doing?
Carlitos, this is the way.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Somebody looking to get to the T6.
There you go. Yeah, the T6 isn't a bad camera, though, from what I understand. I got this for YouTube and ended up doing photography on a slow day. So I was like, okay, this is cool. In fact, I was trying to take pictures with my phone, and I was like, wait a minute, I have a perfectly good camera. Why don't I try to take a picture? Then I was born.
Yeah, if you want to go through a couple of more of these, this is a recent shot. So I'll show you the end result. That's the end result there. So again, the fog plays a lot, and that's the other thing and I've said this in a couple of my videos, that you're going to put your settings for the light, and then if you go and add fog or atmosphere aerosol, which I don't, I mean, people
I
like
have
it,
a
but I don't.
hazer. Is what I use.
Yeah, or a hazer. There you go. Yeah, anything that's going to bounce the light around in the shot, you're going to have to adjust down for that. So you kind of have to play with it a little bit, and then adjust your shutter settings or your ISO or whatever you're. But this is again same thing. Just a bounce card over there to give it some more of that atmospheric light coming from the sky and the surrounding, and a little card. These little cards, I had these little pieces of foam all over the place with these clips that you just have them stand up like
Just
that.
a little bounce.
Yep, and that's
Just
it.
tap,
Just
tap, tap.
exactly. Just to get that, literally the little area on his. You can't see my thing, but like just the little fur there, the little white fur. That sort of area of his face was getting a little dark. But I mean, this is it, just enough to get the shot, man. I don't go nuts with. I see a lot of people putting a set together, and then they're only shooting a little part of it, and it's like, if you have the shot in mind and you know what you want, just set up what you need to set up, and fill the frame.
I was watching Peter McKinnon the other day, and he made an interesting point. I want to ask your opinion on this. He was like, stop shooting portrait and shoot landscape, even if you're doing portraits. So that you can utilize it for anything else besides just Instagram, because when you constrict yourself to pretty much Instagram presentation with portraits,
I'm gonna shoot.
You can always zoom in and crop and stuff to get that landscape look or that portrait look.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with my thinking, which isn't entirely rational, but first of all, I'm going to shoot to get the shot that I want. I've got it in my head. I kind of want to fill the frame with what it's going to look like, because I mean, just for composition wise, I want to see what it's going to look like when it's done. Yeah, I could shoot this wide and then I could crop it down to this for sure. But in the meantime, I got to look at all the crap on the side that isn't finished, and I don't want to finish it for the shot. Second of all, I kind of want to get the highest resolution. I do print these out occasionally, not everything, and not everything's worthy of it. But I always want to leave myself with the option, if I want to use it for something that's going to be a little more high res. So cropping it down probably wouldn't make a damn bit of difference all that much. But I just figure I know exactly what I want. I'm not going to want to use a wide shot of this unless I were to crop it and crop out the wolf or something like that. I wouldn't want to create more space to have to fill up and create a diorama or put trees back there just to sort of make it work. This is basically what I want. But I shoot a lot of landscape too. It varies.
I just sometimes I wish I had taken a landscape instead of a portrait, because my wallpapers on my desktop computer and stuff.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
So
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just like, damn, why didn't I shoot it like that? I could have just cropped it.
Yeah, but shoot to get the shot you want. You know what I mean? Like you'll find another
yeah.
picture that you do landscape, because I mean there are plenty of landscape shots, that I've done that I've got that horse shot, all the horses galloping. That's on I think that's on my desktop now. I don't know. I think I switched it out. But
Mr. Bitterness says they destroy the framing. Instagram, he's referring to.
Oh yeah. Well,
Instagram
I always add the bumpers if I have to. I do not crop, because I crop to what I want, and I'm not letting any format that I have to put it on to dictate that, even if it doesn't look as as great with the little bumpers on the side. But yeah. Oh yeah, there's a good
landscape. So do you make your diorama pieces yourself, or do you get a lot of them provided for you, or purchase them? Or?
Oh, nobody provides them. I wish somebody would provide them for me.
Right.
I wish somebody did too. I just blew out my back painting one of these. Over going like this.
Yeah. I've made some. There's a couple. There's an orc king shot that I kind of took off a while back that I made. I've used that for a lot. I'll bring it up later, but I end up buying them because as much as I enjoy the process of making them, it just takes too much time, and I'm picky, and I'll never finish it. I have so many unfinished dio things back there. That's not
I'm
even
pushing
funny,
myself. I'm pushing myself. I've gotten
That's
3
great.
crates now. 3. A fourth one needs a second coat.
There
I
you
got
go.
one more that hasn't been done at all.
No, that's great, man. If you can do it, and I'm still not doing it.
I'm really happy.
I made
with
some
my palette,
trees last
too.
year. I'm still trying to perfect that process. I really was hoping to crank out a bunch of them. It's still a long process, though. It just doesn't. It's not easy. It's not
I
easy,
got
which
this
is why I
Batman I
outsource
want to
it.
do in a warehouse. So
There
I'm
you go.
building
That
versions.
kind of stuff is like you can bang that stuff out.
Well, this
Weather it
actually
up.
takes just as long to paint because the little you got to paint each one of these.
The
little,
painting, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. It does. And this is the end result of this. Now, this is one where I kind of did. There's a little bit more than I needed. With
that's
this
the
arch up
Mezcal Conan, or is that?
yeah, that's the Mezcal Conan with a bunch of Mythic Legions, orcs and ogres and stuff in the background. Yeah. So this took a while. I'll shoot. I think I shot. It's probably a couple hundred shots of this. I had him posed one way, and then when I looked at it later, it just didn't make any sense the way he had the
I've done
sword in his hand and the position of it. And I don't know. I couldn't get the orcs in the background, the ogres and the orcs in the background the way I wanted them. I wanted them to be there. I love Frazetta, and I just love the way you can't do. I mean, I try to get as close to that as I can, and he's always got that look where if there's a dark background, you can sort of see a face emerging from it, but he's painting it, so you can just have the body completely fade into the black, you know what I mean, or into the brown usually. So that's the effect that I was trying to get with those. You could see them, you understand what's happening back there, but it's not too descript, and it took a while to get to that point, especially when you got your main character in front of other characters. It's a little tricky.
No, I like that. I like how the orcs are creeping up on him as he's taking down this one here.
Yeah.
And Mr. Bitterness, I agree with you. I'm broke too. I'm spending my money on Hot Toys. In fact, I just bought that Blitzway Ecto 1. So I finally put in the deposit for that on BBTS, man.
There you go. Yeah, I mean it can be done, and it's fun. I mean, I find it really fun to make them. I just I find it easier to buy them from somebody.
Yeah.
Despite it's painful sometimes, but you do, once you make one, you know how much work goes into it, and you know that it's worth whatever you're paying, for this person to do it if it's a good job.
People have asked me to sell mine, and I'm like, I think they're good enough for me, but I don't want to sit there and impose the fact that they should be good enough for somebody else. Somebody else might look at this and, in hand and be like, this isn't what I was shown, because, on the camera, it does look different.
Yeah.
So, and then Carlitos has got a good question, because I haven't personally done a lot of this. Maybe you have.
Yeah, I got a shot I can show you. And if you want to bring up, I can bring up Instagram if you want. I think
whichever. I got one on my page again up here.
Kind of know where it is, so instead of having you just sit here and go,
well, that exactly what you're looking for. So I'd be like, is this it?
Yeah.
Is that it? Is this it?
Exactly. I to answer the question though, I haven't used it a ton. In terms of using different scaled figures. That Star Wars shot that you showed at the beginning was that, but that was a little more of a poster thing. I wasn't even trying to hide the fact that, I think what he's talking about is using actually making it look like.
Yeah, I think that's more like what he's looking for.
They fit in with each other. And did I go too far? Oh God. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll find this. There's got to be some other questions.
Harry, man, what you got going on, man? Oh, you found it? Never mind, Harry.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
No, go ahead, Harry. What's up?
No, I just got a new shot up, but last night not doing too well. But
wait, did I like that one? It's all a blur. Hold on.
Oh, it's the new Batman shot.
How do I remove from stream?
Oh yeah, no, I missed that one already. I haven't. Okay. No, I liked it. Okay, yeah, all right. Weird. All right. Well, let's share it so everybody else sees it real quick while he's looking.
For sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, cool.
This is based loosely off of that one scene in the new Batman movie.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. It's in the trailer,
spoiler.
so it's in the trailer. So it's
I'm gonna go
Spoiler
today,
alert.
but then I was like, my first show is 11:30, and it's 3 hours, and that puts me home, depending on how long the trailers are, close to 4 o'clock, which I'm gonna have to be eating dinner around then. So I'm ready at 6, and
Mm.
it's cutting it too close. So I'll go tomorrow when I have nothing to do in the evening. That's sorry, guys. I wanted to go today. Good.
It was fantastic, man.
It was great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, but
Very
Yeah,
cool.
I got a new setup going with my new desk. It can move up and down. So this is the
Ooh.
first time that I have something that convenient to work with. So I was like, all right, I'll go for a wider shot since I have a lot of space. And
Mhm.
for the background, I just throw up Cyberpunk 2077, and I'm like, all right, throw on photo mode, and then just
yeah, he was
you know,
telling me that's like a great place to get backdrops from.
it's really great
Cyberpunk
actually.
Mm.
Yeah. So
77.
because you can change like the depth of field, you can change the field of view, you can change the angle, obviously. So
Right.
you can really get that to match perfectly with your perspective.
Yeah. That's
So-
a tricky thing to do too. Yeah.
Yep.
He's
for
gonna
sure.
set me up with one for my because I ordered the SSR Joker for my Frank Miller's Dark Knight Batman custom because
Mhm.
it's got that head sculpt. If you've ever read or seen the animated movie,
Mhm.
you know he's got the batarang in the eye and all that stuff. I was like,
Oh
I
yeah.
gotta get
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but I want to do the scene where he's in the carnival, and I got to buy him a Glock because he comes with a pistol, but
Yeah.
not a Glock. He's got one of those bang revolvers.
Right.
But there's that scene where he's got the little kid and he's got the Glock and he's just shooting wildly into the crowd and stuff. And I want to get that maniacal laugh with the batarang in his eye and
Nice.
holding the kid. I want to get that shot. But I see you got your thing ready. So, no, wait, that's
Yeah,
not
that. It's the other one. I couldn't get. Yeah. Maybe you
Wait,
can
was
bring
it? Oh,
out.
was it this one we're going?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So this is Black Series up front, Leia to Lando, and in the background it's the vintage 3PO and vintage Millennium Falcon. So if you go to the BTS, which is the next slide there, if you oh wait a minute, I got to do it.
You do it.
Hello,
I'm
God,
trying.
I'm not in control. There you go. So that's it. That's the setup. So I mean, 3PO is set way back, so that's the key. You know what I mean? Like this is two tables, set up. That's why I don't do it that often because it is a big kind of pain in the butt.
Well, that's what I shoot on now. Is I got two tables from IKEA put up together and just I'd leave.
That's exactly what I have. Yeah, it's two
4
tables.
foot by
So
6 foot is what I got going on.
Yep. Yeah, that's no, I think I've got a 3x5 or something like that. But I got two that kind of stack underneath each other. They're kind of like nested, so I can pull the other one out and bring it up to the height of the other one. So that's what I did here, and yeah. So I mean, it worked out really well. I mean, if you look at the shot, it just looks like it's sitting way back there, and they've walked up from it. So I can't think of too many other
smaller figure, right? She's a 3 3/4 or something, right?
Leia is, I believe, no. Leia's the Black Series. She's just set back a little bit further, and I think next to Chewie, she looks so. I mean, that's
Chewie
the
is huge. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's the wrong Chewie too, which of course every Star Wars nerd pointed out to me. I'm like, listen, I don't care, man. That's what I had.
That's a great use of Force perspective, though, man.
Yeah, I love it. Super convincing.
Yeah, that's here's the dial. I don't know if you're still looking. Are you still looking at the screen? I don't even know. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're still looking.
So this is the dial that I made, sort of, and I made the columns and the steps and stuff. So that was. I have used this so many freaking times, man. It's not even funny. But what I tell a lot of people, I see a lot of in ACBA. I see a lot of kids who get a dio, and I say kids, it can be adults. I don't know. And they'll want to. They're so happy with the dio that they want to shoot the whole dio.
Wait, go back to the Pennywise. I have to ask you this.
This one,
the Pennywise, the one in the grass.
Oh, in the grass. Yeah, okay.
Where do you get that grass? Because I need that for my Ecto. When I get my Ecto 1, I want to set up a diorama where he's driving through that kind of grass.
Okay, so that's grass. That's grass in my backyard.
Real grass.
Yeah, it's actually little. It was a small plant that had died, and luckily it was during the winter or the fall or something, and so it's a little stiffer than grass. But I just cut a bunch of it down, and I stuck it into I don't even know if I have the behind the scenes. I don't. It's just in a little piece of like cardboard or foam or something like that, just to hold it all up, and it's just real close to the camera, and that's it. Yeah.
Because one of the shots I want to shoot that Ecto 1 when I get it. One of the shots I want to do is the shot from this poster. You know, I want to get
Oh,
that,
in the field.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
get the field, and so I'm trying to find out what I can use for the grass that's going to work with that scale. And I saw that, and I was
Yeah,
like,
you-
"Wait a minute, what are you
You
using?"
probably, well, I mean, if it's close to the camera, it'll work. And then I think if you took the same stuff and
Yeah, but that thing's
did
surrounded
another
by
layer
grass.
of it behind the car, it would probably work fine. You know, I mean, I think that would work.
I don't know.
That's
We'll
cool.
see,
That would
but-
be great. You're going to need a lot of grass for that.
Exactly. There's some plastic 5-inch tall grass I can buy on Amazon, and they come in like a 12 by
Right.
12 square, I think. I might do that, but it's $30 each.
Yeah.
And then I just spray paint it or airbrush it or whatever to get it that yellowish color.
Yeah.
Maybe even
I mean, you know,
accidentally
you go out,
stick it.
if you got any fields near you, you know, you just go out and cut down some of that, like, you know, that tall grass and just cut it down.
No, unfortunately, all the fields I would have had are now turning into housing not projects, but they're building houses all around me right now. Like we had farms. I'm out in the suburbs of Atlanta. There was like actual farms and stuff near me, and now it's all turning into neighborhoods. They're like, let's make a neighborhood here. Let's make one here and here. I was like, dude, you got 4 of these right here by my house now.
That's what happens, man.
Like my woods that I had out back are gone. Like half of them are gone.
Oh, that sucks.
My woods. You know, I was like,
yeah.
I had a backyard, they had fence, and then woods, and I'd see deer out there and stuff, and I could go back there and shoot sometimes. But no, most of that's gone.
That's depressing. That's a little
Yes.
depressing. I'm sad about that. That sucks. This is that same dial, just, you know, differently used. I guess I gotta. There it is.
Oh, and you get the light.
Yeah, so this is just
Drag it in
fog
the
sitting. So there's a light inside the little chest there, which I found on eBay. That was a good find. That's a dragon mask. That's the
Oh my god,
that's awesome.
Full size mask from Game of Thrones.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and that's just underlit behind them, and then just blowing in fog and taking 100 shots.
I may need to get a fog machine on top of the haze machine because I think there are times where I need that instead of the haze.
Yeah, the fog sits nicely. You know what I mean? It'll settle. I still shoot at like a average 2-second shutter speed to let it dissipate. I don't like, unless it's an effect I want, I don't like getting all the little tendrils and stuff like that of the smoke, unless I'm looking to make it look
Well,
like
that's why I got the
fire.
haze machine, because I understood that the way that worked is that actually would just sit in the air, like make that soupiness that I like.
Yeah,
But-
you could do the same thing with this, but all you do is blow it. You know, you just blow it into there and you blow it around, and you know, you get the same thing. This has got a little bit of that haze. You can see it. I mean, it's all sort of over here, and it's behind here. I think I shot some of the fog behind them and let it just sort of dissipate over the top of the dragon to give him a little bit of distance and
Kind
depth.
of lose
at the
that
front.
dragon in that shot, though. I didn't even quite realize who it was until I saw it behind the scenes.
You're not the only one. I can't believe how many people
I
I've told.
loved
Did you
it.
see the dragon? They're like, "What dragon?" I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
that's the first thing I
Because
saw
his
actually.
chin gets cut off by the dude in the front. That's why.
A
That's
little
the
bit,
whole
yeah.
reason why. It looks like
Yeah,
it's just like something on the wall, like a,
Mm-hmm.
like so. But I mean,
I almost
love
made
it.
the eye yellow, but again, I try to keep it a little bit ACBA and not try to do too much. This is
Are
another
you
good
able to
example of.
consistently get light, glares, like not glare, but light beams and stuff with your fogs and your lights and stuff.
Dot rays.
Light rays. Thank you. I couldn't think of a damn word.
Purposely or
Yeah.
accidentally?
Purposely, because I can accidentally do it any day. I'm not trying to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, I will.
When I'm
show
trying to do it, though, I
you-
can't seem to land it. So I'm just.
I'll
trying
show
to-
you at least my. Oh God, who knows where the hell this is? My experience with this and what I think has to be done is that you have to kind of force the. I'm sorry, I'm just flipping through here, but
No, you're good.
you have to force the fog through kind of a. There it is. So there's no Photoshop here. I mean, it's been retouched, but the fog is as it is, like as it was
Oh.
shot. So you can see it right here. So there's a
No
tight little
kidding.
area that the fog is going to come through. There's an extremely bright light. That's a lume cube on pretty much on high. Not that one, but there's one behind him aiming down through the window.
So where's
and
the Q1 high?
you can't see it. It's behind. It's behind him, up and behind the window. So this is light painting on the gold. I had to coordinate all this. I had to blow the smoke. I had to hit the trigger. I had to move the little light, turn it off, turn it on.
Are you still using a slow shutter here? Because
exactly, yeah. This is probably two or 3 seconds. So you can see it. There it is. Right there's your light beams are coming through. So if you fill it with a nice heavy fog and you've got a nice bright light coming right down on it, and it's coming through a small area so that it's channeled.
Yeah,
that's how you get that. Yeah. Otherwise, if it's not channeled, it's almost impossible to do. It's got to be coming through a small area.
Yeah, I'm not having a lot of luck nailing that because I've tried making my little like grid just to do the light beams, and I'm not finding that sweet spot to nail it.
Oh, you've got a little grid for it to come through the fog.
Yeah, just a little thing. I've cut lines in. Just a piece of black poster board. I cut lines in so I could put the light source behind those and try to get like a gridded light beam, but
like that noir, like that noir window type of look to it. That should work. I mean, it may just be that you need a brighter, bigger light. Maybe one of these, Savage lights or something. Maybe with a wider beam to fill that area or something. I don't know.
You don't have a lot of light source in the front though, do you? You're using a lot of that light from that backlit.
It's mainly backlit. I think I've got one bounce card. Yeah, there's a bounce card. That's a pretty big bounce card, actually.
And you got a light source inside the trunk, right?
Yep, there's 2 bounce cards, actually. And he's underlit, and there's a light source on the trunk, and there's also another lume cube over there on the wall, so that's kind of lighting the front of her. So, yeah, that's quite a bit. There's nothing direct. There's no...
I guess I have to keep playing with it, because I'm just not able to get that consistently.
Yeah, it's tricky. There's been times when I wanted to do it and I couldn't make it happen. So, just keep playing with it.
It's really infuriating because, like, when you're not shooting and you're looking at your setup, you see the beams. Your eyes are seeing them, but your camera's not grabbing it. You're like, come on!
You're not catching it. I don't think this one has that either. That's just a light from the light source. I'm trying to think offhand if I've got another one that's like that. I'm sure I do, but I don't know where it is. But just keep playing with it, man. I mean, I would experiment with different widths, for the openings and things like that. It's basically just channeling it through something, and maybe the surrounding area around it needs to be bigger so that nothing else comes through. There's nothing even getting around it. It's just got to go through that, that hole, and the rest of it has to just be kicked back. And, the light has to be shining right through that same opening. So, I mean, that's my experience with it. So anyway.
Yeah. Let me address this because they're talking about this a little bit in the chat. The Ecto 1 here and my reasonings with why I chose BBTS, because I do want to go over that a little bit, and I'm going to go over more on my toy talk. But since they're talking about it now, I want to just go over it a little bit. There's other options, guys. Where you could go get the Blitzway in the US. You can get the Blitzway Ecto 1. Sideshow does not look like they're going to be an option though. Bluefin Brands is the official US distributor for Blitzway now. And so I think Sideshow's been kind of cut out of the loop. Even if you look on their site, they've got 5 Blitzway items on there. Yeah. I mean, I haven't got that for, set in stone, but from what Doc Smizzle and I can gather, that's it. But there are other stores selling it, I think Comic Concepts has got it, or is it Collector's Zone? One of the two. Maybe even both. But I went with Big Bad Toy Store for one reason and one reason only, because the set shipping rate. It's set in the price. I know that they jacked up the price because of the shipping to kind of eat that. So it's $18.99. Yeah, and $4 flat rate. We
were just talking about this the other night.
But
with you,
the fact that it's in that price, regardless of what continues to happen in this messed up thing going on right now with over in overseas, we'll just say that because I don't know what YouTube's going to flag and what won't. But the stuff going overseas with the gas prices that are just going through the roof, shipping prices are going to rise subsequently, and I don't know where that's going to be when this car comes out. I'd rather be locked into my shipping rate now and know where I'm at.
Yeah.
And so I went with Big Bad Toy Store because, I really wanted to go with Sideshow though because I wanted all those points.
Yeah,
that would have been nice. That would have been. I didn't even think about that. I mean, I feel like those points though are just you getting paid back for your shipping, basically when it comes down to it.
true.
But it could be whatever they want. That could have been the Batman because I don't know, and I'm going to have the money for the Batman with the light.
I did get the tentatively ordered the DeLorean from Toys Wonderland. Now, I've never gotten anything from Toys Wonderland. I've heard the stories and everything, but
are you doing payment?
It was
you paying in full.
I don't even remember what I did, but I think I paid in full because it was super cheap, and you can always cancel it. I have heard that that's fine. They don't bust your balls over that, but you can cancel it right up to the point where they say, "Oh, your shipping's going to be $400 or something like that," and you go, "Yeah, no, that's not going to work for me." So, I mean, if it is a couple $100 to ship it, it's still going to come out to be basically what I would have paid at Sideshow less the shipping and the tax. So, to me, it's not too bad. I don't know. We'll see.
The thing with I got two. Did you order first batch or just regular pre-order?
Another good question. I don't remember. I don't know if they even had
first batch from them.
I think I just got the regular one because I don't need it. You know what I mean? It's not something that I have to have immediately. So
okay,
it was just basically because it was cheaper than anywhere else. And again, you don't know what shipping is going to be, but even if I was estimating shipping at a couple $100 at least, it's still going to come out. I figured even if it was up to $250 or something like that, it's still going to come out cheaper than Sideshow with tax and shipping. So
yeah. Well, how much was it on Toys Wonderland, if you don't mind me asking?
I want to say it was like under $600.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's a good deal.
It was like $580 something or something like that. It was crazy. Like not crazy, but like, it was cheaper than anywhere else. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's my first, it's something that I'll get, and I kind of figured that I'm going to get it, shoot it, and maybe just turn around and sell it again because I really don't have a place to display it at this point. And I like Back to the Future, but I'm not a huge Back to the Future fan, and I already have a 1/12 DeLorean that's sitting in a box somewhere. So if I don't end up getting it for whatever reason, it's just crazy to ship. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
No, I feel you.
Lesson learned.
I got the first batch pre-order for the Boba Fett 2-pack that came out recently.
Yeah,
Toys Wonderland. They kind of dicked me around a few extra days because I did the payment plan with him, and they emailed me the day it dropped, going, "How do you want it shipped?" When in essence, they only had one way to ship it because the Hong Kong Post was down,
right,
and everything else was not available, so
it's
it was
all
just DHL.
DHL, yeah, that's it.
And so I was like, "Why are you dicking me around?" But it takes 12 hours to talk back and forth with them, right?
Well, they'll send it to you through whatever that courier thing is. That'll take like a month and a half too, if you want. But it's like basically, why would I pay for all this, up front and like want it to ship to me in a month and a half? I'm like, no, of course, DHL, give it to me, whatever it is. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, but the problem is their site doesn't let you choose that like anytime during the pre-order process. Like even after you're paid off, you have to somehow communicate with them. Like, and I tried to, and they were like, well, you have to wait. So
it's really weird that they don't do that. Even just to say this is the way I want it shipped, so that there's a box somewhere in your order that says ship it via DHL. I mean, if you can't predict the price a year from now, I understand that, but like at least let me select it so that you know what the hell I want.
Yeah, but I got dicked around when I paid the premium for the first batch for 4 days before it actually went out, and that was a little annoying because you paid that premium for first batch, and granted, I still got it before a lot of other people. But it was a headache because on their site it's sold out, and you're like, did they sell mine along with that? Because I haven't been able to communicate fast enough. I don't know.
Throughout the COVID and everything, I had the same problem with a Toys buying agent, and I would get an email a couple days after, like it's in and we have it in hand, but how do you want to ship it? It's going to take a little while till we can get it. We can't get it out this way. We can't get it out that way. And it would be like, it was ridiculous. Like I ended up getting a couple of them, sure, sooner than they came out retail from Sideshow, but only by a couple weeks at that point, which is ridiculous. I paid for, first batch. So stopped using them.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's anybody else's experience there. I'm not trying to trash anybody. It just it didn't work out for me. So
Don had ordered his the day of release from somebody in Hong Kong, and he got it 5 days before I got mine. Because he just ordered it. He didn't pre-order. He just went. He's like, oh,
I've heard that same thing. Like, yeah, if you can, if they put it up, they release and they've got them. For some reason, I've seen people get them before I got them, and I paid for, first release or first batch.
But we'll see what happens with Toys Wonderland when Bo-Katan drops, because she's also a first batch pre-order I did, but I paid her off entirely.
Yeah.
So I got to choose my shipping.
Yeah.
Because I paid her off right then and there. So
okay.
We'll see if I have to go through that crap again with Bo-Katan.
Well, I would do that with Sideshow too. I would make sure that even if they said, "Oh, you got one payment left and it's going to be shipping soon," I'm like, I go pay that off. I'm not going to wait until you send me that thing, because then I'll be the last in line.
Yeah.
They get priority for people who have paid off and paid up front. So
Sideshow, I usually just do the deposit and just wait. I don't pay any. I don't give them any of my money. I put my money in a savings account so I can get interest on that money.
Oh yeah, no, I do the payment plan, but it's that last payment when it's going to come out, and they're saying, we'll send you a bill when it's ready to ship. It's like, no, I'll go and pay it now. It's like another $50. It's $50, and if you do that, you get into the group that has paid up front and goes out quicker than the people that they then send out the notice to, and then you pay it, and
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But if you want a good price on the DeLorean here in the States, it's not quite as cheap as yours, but Underground Figures had it for $7-something on their site.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, mine's going to end up being
for the viewers. I mean, you already bought yours, so
yeah, mine's going to end up being $7-something, I'm sure. Or maybe $9. I have no idea what the shipping is going to be. I have no clue.
It might be pretty costly, because I know somebody who got just finally paid off their original Ecto one from Toys Wonderland, and they tried to charge them $1,400 to ship it here in the States. So
yeah, well,
yeah, we'll see.
I mean, that's diecast to you, and if it comes to that, I will say so long.
Yeah. So what we got here, is this She-Ra, or is this the Mythic Legions kind of She-Ra ripoff? I don't know.
Yeah, this is the Mythic Legions tribute, not a ripoff.
Okay, I don't know a lot about Mythic Legions. I apologize. I wasn't trying to.
No, it's good. These guys were big Motu fans, and they actually did a lot of work in the past on Motu. I think I don't know Motu, but I guess the revival back in the early 2000s or 90s, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, they've worked on Motu before, so every year they'll do a couple tributes, and they'll bring them out to PowerCon to Motu characters based, around pieces that they already have done. They'll just repaint them, and they're loosely based, loose tributes to them. But yes, that's who this is.
Now, how do you pull off the blood splatter effects? Is this in Photoshop, or is this practical?
So this one happens to be half and half. So if you look at this little streak here, and I know you can't see my mouse. So it's the main.
We can't see your mouse.
Oh, you can. Okay, so the main streak there is a practical effect that I made of hot glue and sort of transparent red paint. And then these little splatters here are just impossible. So that's Photoshop. The little extra splatters are Photoshop. So I think you'll see it here.
No, can you get away with that without getting the glue on the body to make those? Because, I'm shooting Hot Toys, so I don't want to try to.
Oh, hell no. Yeah. I just take a little glue dot, like one of those things that you can get to put up a poster or something like that, or even tack. I wouldn't put tack on a Hot Toy cloth either. I like the little glue dots. They're called. They come right off, and they don't leave any residue whatsoever. So, that, or you could clip it to the clothing or something like that if you got a little, like something or other. Here, I mean, this is just stuck to plastic, so it's not that big a deal. But yeah, so you can see that it's a little practical, and then it's a little fake.
I do have a glue gun. So is that on a wire though, or you just try to pull that glue along?
Literally a paper clip, and then you just drag the hot glue over the top of it, leave a few tendrils and stuff that come on, pull it, hot glue is does anyway naturally. And then it's like forget what the paint is, but you can get it in a model shop, and it's translucent. It's like a oh, not a wash, but something like that.
Okay.
I think it's an enamel or something like that. So yeah.
So Brandon says, "Love watching the stream, y'all. You guys are truly an amazing inspiration to the craft."
Oh, thank you, Brandon.
Thanks,
You must be talking to you two.
Stop.
What's up, Christopher? Hey, Trevor, do you ever
Mhm.
find yourself doing focus stacking for your images? That's another great question. And we haven't really touched on focus stacking here because,
Yep.
for one, I've never used it. I know about it,
Mhm.
and I don't have the photography vernaculars to explain it. So, if you want to go into that at all, if you've ever done it,
Yep.
you're-
I'm trying to think of something that I did it on. Actually, that first Star Wars. I don't know if you've got that first Star Wars image that you pulled up the. Let me see if I can find it in here.
no, my Instagram's on Harry still.
Yeah, hang on a second. Where the hell is it? God. But yes, so focus stacking is, like the camera that I have, you can do it multiple ways, and you can do it manually. You can just simply, you focus on your main figure, and then you hit the focus and you move it towards an object, in the front, whether it's their leg or their arm, if they're holding out a gun or something like that. Generally, you want to do at least a dozen shots. And then you can bring them into Photoshop. I can't seem to find that stupid picture, but it's basically the one I just did the video for. It's this one, this. So if we go through the video, it's the end result of this.
Yeah,
video
I saw
anyway.
you actually
Because with everything going on in here, there was just no way to get the figures in front in focus. It really wasn't even a matter of I couldn't get everything in focus. It was more a matter of the fog, dissipating and getting the right fog in certain places. So I had to use different images. So it's not a true focus stack, although it kind of is. I kind of focused on the background characters a little bit more on one shot and the foreground characters a little bit more in another shot. And then this is what I did. You basically mask out and marry them. Photoshop will do it, quote unquote, automatically for you, but it doesn't always work out too well. The results always need a little bit of work. But that's what it is. It's like you're taking multiple layers with multiple levels of the shot in focus, and then you marry them together and put everything sort of so that everything's super sharp and in focus without having to get all the way across the room, you know what I mean, to get everything in focus in a small area of the shot. So it's convenient. I don't find it useful all that much, but I know some people who do it all the time, and they just get they want those super sharp images, like every level of the shot to be nice and sharp.
Well, I kind of wanted to do it on that one shot with the Boba Fett and the Predator, far back there. I tried to do that, but what I noticed when I
that would have worked. Yeah, bring that up. Yeah.
But when I try to bring those in, even though I haven't moved the camera at all, I just changed the focus. The sizes of the figures changed in the shot. So I wish.
They do. So there's another way to bring in. Do I have Photoshop on here? I don't know if I can.
So I'd have to go in through the focus stacking thing. That's how I
have Photoshop open, so I can show you. Not show you, but I can tell you. You can go into File. Yeah, maybe I can show you. I don't know. I guess I can save my screen or show my screen here. So stop this. Share screen.
All right, while you pulling that up, let me address Mr. Musashi. What's up, Mr. Musashi? Sure. Let me see what he's saying here. What up, all? Also, is it basically known that Sideshow won't be? From what we can tell, Sideshow is not getting the Ecto-1. Blitzway is no longer handled as Sideshow is no longer the Blitzway distributor in the U.S. The Blitzway distributor in the U.S. is a company called Bluefin Brands. You can order the Ecto-1 directly from them, and it's actually not a bad price, but you do have to pay for it up front. They don't have a payment plan. And then, of course, Blitzway themselves are telling people that you need to go through your local distributors, if possible, or retailers to get it. But yeah, Sideshow at this time does not appear to be carrying it. They don't seem to have any kind of thing with Blitzway at the moment at all.
Interesting.
So, really and then Doc actually pointed out a good point. For example, He wanted that Where's Waldo figure from Blitzway, and he kept asking Sideshow, when are you going to get it? And they're like, well, just keep checking the page, which is the same story they're giving us with the Ecto 1, by the way.
Right.
And it comes out. It came out, and they never got it. The last thing that they've put up from Blitzway on Sideshow that I know of is Bill and Ted. That was the last thing they've put up on there.
Yeah,
So,
I think they had. Did they have Jimi Hendrix too? I don't remember.
I think they did have Jimi Hendrix, but I think he sold out.
Bill and Ted was afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was after.
Yeah. Interesting.
So
That's weird.
Yeah, I went with Big Bad Toy Store for mine because my shipping price is locked in, even though the actual sticker price seems larger because of the shipping price being locked in. But given the world condition today, I won't have any surprises. Shipping surprises like gas is $10 a gallon next year. I'm still covered. My shipping is built into the price.
Yep.
Sorry, he had asked that, and while you were looking at that. All right.
No, that's right.
What you're looking for, Trevor?
I did. I can't. I guess you have to. There you go.
I have the buttons.
You have the control. So if you go into File and you go into Scripts, and then you go into Load Files into Stack.
Oh, I'm gonna make this full screen.
You can't see. You can't see the drop downs.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You'd have to share the whole.
Oh, okay. I'm sharing.
Yeah,
okay, hang on. I'll do that.
It's annoying. Okay. Yes. Here, I'll
let me stop it. Let me share it. I just didn't want to do like the whole.
That's why I have 3 monitors.
Okay. All right, there you go. So I'm on Photoshop. I'm off of StreamYard, so I won't be going into Infinity.
There we go.
All right. Okay. So File, Scripts, Load Files into Stack. Okay. So now if I go, I think I have my 1/6 shooter folders here. Trying to think of something. I guess I could do this one. I don't think I've done.
While he's pulling this up, Harry, have you ever done focus stacking?
No, I actually never tried that before.
Okay, cool.
In fact, I'm not even aware of focus stacking until kind of now.
So this probably isn't going to be a great example of focus stacking, but it'll show you how to bring this in. So I'm going to bring in 4 shots. It loads them up. And then what you want to do is you want to click this and say attempt to automatically align source images. So then Photoshop is going to go in. And Moz, in your case, this is the thing. You'd have one shot where it's a little bit, the focus is a little bit closer because you're focusing on the foreground object, and then it changes because you're focusing on the background object. Yeah. It's going to try and marry those and match it up as close as it can. Focus, giving priority to the thing that's in focus. So if your focus is on the predator in the background, that should match the predator on the shot that Boba Fett is in focus on. So it's not always perfect, but generally. And then if you click Create Smart Object, that's where it will take, if you've done actual focus stacking and like had your camera take, or yourself take pictures of different levels of the shot, it will then merge them all into one. I don't recommend you doing that. You can. It doesn't always come out great, and it usually needs a lot of work, and it gets a little more complex. So,
I don't usually not that box. Gotcha.
It depends. If you've got 30 shots, like, yeah, you might want to not have to go through all those and figure out what's in focus and what's not. But
because I've tried to manually do it, bring in the open as layers from Lightroom, or not open, open multiple images layers in Lightroom, and then mask myself and everything. But then I realized the problem that since I zoomed into the predator who's in the background, now everybody's like the wrong size, and it's
so you can see this actually did kind of work out, because you can see that this shot I had actually zoomed in at a different crop on the shot. So if I do this, it's lining up. You can see it's lining up the wall and some of the elements around it. Not perfectly, but it's close. You know what I mean? I can't quite do that perfectly. But if I wanted to have this this shot, I could mask this and then take a large brush here and just simply, well, that's terrible because that's hard edged, but I don't know why that is. But anyway, I could just do this. If I like these guys a little bit better, I mask it out. find where the seam is at some point. At some point, it's going to match up like right about there. It's pretty close anyway. And even the wall, I should be able to sort of go over the top of this, so you can get, it needs a little more work, obviously. And the foreground image would have to be brightened up, but it works well. I mean, this isn't exactly focus stacking, but it's as close as I can find on the, you're going to have multiple layers, and you're going to mask out what you don't want to see. To do real focus stacking really well takes a lot of time. You know what I mean? And there are probably, I've heard that there are better applications than Photoshop to put them together. Standalone applications that do nothing but merge focus stack pictures. So
I paid that big price tag for my Photoshop suite.
I know. Well, I know.
I got the whole damn thing, man. It was just much more cost effective to get the whole damn thing.
It works pretty well. Listen, if you're not doing anything too crazy and too complex, it'll work well enough for you. But it's, I don't find a lot of use for it. It's a specialized look that I'd rather. I may
do that though next time I want to get those, 2 different depths that'll go on. R3 suggests though, he says she I don't know, I don't want to assume, load files into stack with auto align has, in my experience, always been more accurate than highlighting the layers and choosing auto align.
Yes. When you bring them, I would say the same thing. When you bring them in, hit auto align and have it work. Because if you do it post, there's a way to do it, and then you can say, "Hey, align these 2 layers now." After I brought them into Photoshop, and it's not quite as good.
Okay,
so that's true. Yeah.
Thank you, Trevor. I did not know about that at all.
So,
good.
You want to bring all the photos into one. So I'd open his layers from Lightroom like I did before, like you did. Lightroom, when I import to Photoshop, I'm still going to open his layers, so it sends like all the different shots that I want to use to do the stack.
See, that's different. So if you're bringing them right from Lightroom into Photoshop, I will usually, to quote unquote save space, I'll output just the images that I want from Lightroom. This is an extra step that really isn't necessary, I know, because you can bring them in, but I do it for this reason, because I don't know how to bring them in from Lightroom into a stack that I can auto align in Photoshop. Like I said, you can do it in post. You can, after you've brought all the layers in, you can then select them all and say, hey, align all these. But like R3 says, doesn't work quite as well as if you bring them in the way I did there, where you say, load as stack and then auto align. So I'll output everything as a JPEG just to keep things a little bit smaller too. And then just bring them in through that dialog box. So Lightroom's done. I'm done with Lightroom.
Do you manually edit each one for the colors and stuff that you want before you bring them in? Because once you bring in that JPEG, any color correction is going to get.
I do all the color. I do most of the color correcting in Lightroom. So everything is pretty much as I want it in Lightroom, and then I'm basically just doing effects, layering, dodging burning, and some other things that I kind of keep secret. But yeah, so for the most part, they're pretty much color corrected and everything once I take them out of Lightroom. Because yes, I mean the JPEG is you're gonna lose a little bit, but not enough to really make that much of a difference at that point. I'm not doing any raw adjustments at that point. Nothing major. Not trying to bring out things that are in the dark after I've created a JPEG. So.
Yeah, it's just usually after I've done my Photoshop is when I finally put in like the LUTs or whatever I'm going to use, from Lightroom. So that's why I was wondering your process, because you'd rather it be a raw file or a TIFF file at least before you did that, right? You don't want to be doing a JPEG like that, right?
With a LUT, I mean, you
or
could,
whatever their presets are that they have.
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's all just keeping the file a little bit smaller. I mean, I still keep the files big enough, so that if I print something at 9x12, let's say, I can get that to 300 DPI to print. So, I mean, I don't need anything much bigger than that. You know what I mean? I don't need everything to be raw files on top of raw files. Because the Photoshop file, I don't know how it brings in from Lightroom. Like if you're going to export to Lightroom, is it creating TIFFs or is this keeping those as raw files?
If you export from Lightroom to Photoshop, it makes a TIFF.
It makes a TIFF in different layers for each one you've selected. Okay.
Yeah.
Which was probably bigger in file size. I'm trying to reduce file size for my server because I've got a ton of space, and I keep the raw files for the most part that I use. I discard the ones that I don't end up using.
I'm bad at
But it's a lot of
away.
space. What's that?
I got ones I didn't use. I got ones that I did use. I need to throw away.
Yeah, I have to go through like at least every 6 months, and I gotta like, listen, I gotta get rid of this. I'm never gonna use this again. I gotta get rid of it because they're huge. I mean, these libraries are massive in Lightroom, man. So yeah, I don't find any problem using the JPEGs. I've even gone in and done some raw adjustments, light
and you can
raw
print from the
adjustments.
JPEGs too, and still get good quality from that.
Yep.
Now, are you printing at home with like a nice Canon, like?
Nope.
No. You send them
No,
off.
I send them out to a printer to do like G-Clay prints. You know, high quality stuff. So
I'm asking because I get people all the time asking me to sell prints, and I don't know the first thing about it. I mean, I've
yeah, there's
looked
some
into it a little
online.
bit, but the one thing that I've heard is that you need to recolor grade for a printer than the color grading you would have done for, say, your computer. And I'm not good at color grading as it is, so making me do it more than once.
The first thing you're going to want to do, if we want to talk about that a little bit, is calibrate your monitor. And I mean, if you're going to get serious about it, you really got to get a colorimeter and calibrate your monitor specifically, probably to the printer. I mean, calibrate it anyway, but to the printer's specs that you want to print with. And then they'll usually give you presets that you can. A good printer will give you a proof preset that you can load into Photoshop and set that up. And it's still a weird thing to look at. You know, if you've ever looked at those, like a print proof, and you've hit adjust blacks, show them like realistically, I forget what the terminology is, and then show like paper color, it looks like a washed out mess. Right on screen, because you're never going to get the look of a print on screen. But
you don't have the backlight from the monitor that in your print, which is why you lose it so much, because your monitor's got that backlight, and it's. I've read a little bit.
Yeah, I use Finerworks. I'm not trying to promote them or anything, but they do a good job of giving you like a lot of videos on how to do this and how to set up your prints. I've still gotten some things back that I thought I had brought down, like some of the denser blacks enough, and I get them back and they're a muddy mess. You know what I mean? So,
and do they charge you for those, or is that just stuff you get?
They're usually pretty good about, because especially if you pay for extra color correction. I mean, I think the color correction means you're going to fix this so it looks good, when you print it out, to a certain degree. To a certain degree, they're really focusing more on colors and making the colors accurate, and not really fixing the fact that you've got some crushed blacks when it prints out, even though you're not using like 100, like full on black in the shot. That's the trickiest part. The rest of it is pretty easy, and they come out pretty good. I mean, this is, I don't know if you'll be able to see with the glare on this, but this is, the glare is insane. There we go. But they printed this, and I know it's hard to see, but it came out really nice. I mean, there's nothing that I really am unhappy about with this one. It gets a little dark in here, but it's not crushed. You can still see some detail on those blacks. So I will tell you that it's like, it takes some experimentation to get it right. And, I wouldn't suggest going and printing 30 copies of one all at once. Send one or two in different types of shots, darker shots. You do some moody stuff, both of you. So it's going to be tricky to print that stuff without, you're going to almost have to back up those darks to the point where you look at it and you go, oh, no, I'm seeing things that I don't want to see. You know what I mean? There's details, but when it prints, it's going to darken up. You know what I mean? So it's tricky.
I've been working on that moodiness. I've been trying to find that happy, because I want that cinematic look in all my shots, right? But I do tend to shoot darker than lighter. But R3 here is says in my real people portrait work, I print them on a matte style paper, and it really mimics what I see on screen.
So, I would agree. I do the same thing. I don't like glossy photo paper. This stuff I use now doesn't have a tooth to it. I used stuff that was like, not a watercolor paper, but almost like that. It had a little bit of a tooth, and it was nice, but it's way more money than anybody wants to spend on a print. So I went to the little bit more entry level paper, but it's still a nice matte, no gloss to it, nothing at all. So it's really nice.
Then
And it does look good. It does mimic what you see on screen for the most part. I mean, the colors, obviously, you're not going to get some of the brights and stuff like that, but you're going to see if you go in and you look at Harry, you're probably familiar with the gamut or gamut warning.
Yeah.
That'll show you things that are not going to print. It'll flash like this is just this colors. There's no way to print this in 4 colors. So those will change in the print, but not so much that you're going to really notice it.
Okay.
Hey, Tom's here. What's going on?
Tom is in the building.
That fancy framing. He said, "Here's a shot that I did that I really play with, like actually making it color, but nobody liked it because either A, it was World of Warcraft, or B, but these are all toys, and
that looks good.
I accidentally cut off because I forgot to crop, because it's 4.5 is what Instagram wants. I had it at 16 by 9 or so. I don't know, but I
just the tip of the World of Warcraft logo. Yeah.
Oh no, I had my signature at the bottom and I cut it off. I was like,
I hate that.
But I was really happy with these colors, how these all came.
Looks great.
Yeah,
that looks great, and that would print really well. That would be a beautiful print.
Yeah, but those are all toys too. I mean, it looks like some kind of artwork they did for their game.
It's really nice, man. Can you zoom in on it from there or no?
Not from here. I'd have to open it and something.
All right, I'll take a look at it on your. I don't remember seeing that one. I use like this InShot application. It's free. You can bring it in, but then you can select the 4:5 ratio. You know what I mean? And it'll just add little. You can blur out. Have your image in the background, but blur it out on the sides, and it works kind of nicely. It doesn't add like a stupid black frame or a white frame around it, but yeah, it looks really good, man. That'd be a great print.
The only thing that's not in camera here is the little embers floating around and stuff. But all the lighting, like the different transitions, the lights and stuff, that's all in camera.
I gotta go look at that one. Can't really see it.
This is June 2021, so June of last year.
Okay.
I brought it up when they launched the classic Burning Crusade. I was like, oh, let's do a picture for that, because I was playing it again by then. They sucked me back in, and then I realized I don't like playing with other people, so I stopped playing.
I just paid for that Elden Ring, and I haven't even touched it yet.
But
this looks really nice, man.
10 years ago, man. I have these figures, so I was like, I never use them, and they're McFarlane figures. So it was really interesting getting him, Illidan, to look like he was actually doing something, because he's just in that stance. You can't move him. You can turn his head. That's it.
Yeah.
So
did you take out flight stands and stuff from this?
Yeah, I had him on a stand. Nobody else was on a stand. Okay. Oh well, I guess the gnome was on a stand too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I did take the stands out too.
Yeah, very cool. Nice.
I forgot about that. I don't usually count that. All right, there's one I didn't do anything to. Right. That's taken on my phone, guys. It's awesome. But there's one where I took the wire.
Yeah. See, like now this, like to print this, it would be really nice, like especially on like a nice, almost like a silk paper would be kind of cool. But you would definitely have to bring those darks. Because by the time this is printed, you probably wouldn't see that little highlight on his left ear, and most of what's around his left eye as well, most likely. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing by the way you have it in here and the way it looks on screen, just having gone through it, you definitely have to brighten it up to the point where you're like, no, I don't like the way that looks. But
yeah, I just didn't have anything to put behind him that worked with his scale until much later. I realized. I could do a shot like this.
that Grogu toy.
Like, oh God!
Is the new?
That Grogu was like, hey, you hitting me? We're gonna have to talk about this. The roles have been reversed, and I 3D printed that cup. That was like one of the last things I 3D printed before my printer broke, and I had to tie his hands together to make him hold it with fishing wire. because his arms wouldn't come in and hold it.
Yeah.
Here's one
That's
of the
the Hot Toys one, right? Yeah.
This is one where I did get the light beams to work, but I had to really
Yeah, there you go.
like push that, man, and I can't consistently do it. You know, it's just.
Well, that's. I mean, I think that's what you did. You did it right there. Like you've got. It's a very tight space.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to force it through. Like you really got to like have the hose or the machine or whatever you're using and just really like push it through. You know, like blow it through or whatever. And also, I was going to say it's a fast set of shutter speed, but it's really not. You want 1 or 2 seconds on that probably at least to get it to look like a beam as opposed to little tendrils of smoke coming through there.
Yeah, I had 0.8. I don't know why I was at that speed. 5.6, 0.8. I don't know.
Oh, look at you putting your specs in there. That's
yeah. I do that with all my shots. Here's another one where I tried to get it, but I didn't quite.
Why wouldn't it work there?
But barely. It's just barely in there.
You'd think with that the contrasting background, you'd see it quite a bit.
Well, I had a light source here because this moon up here is a 3D printed moon with a lume cube in it.
That might have killed it. I don't know.
But
it's a really tricky.
It can't light anything. It pretty much just lights itself. It doesn't.
Oh, it's the moon. Oh, it's that. Yeah, I got one of those. Yeah. Those are cool. Yeah, that doesn't have. That's not much of a light source. Yeah.
I had one and then I dropped it and it broke and
oh shit,
my printer's dead, so I can't make a new one. So. There's a back. So
that's so cool.
But yeah.
I gotta break that moon out again. That is a great moon. I was always like, I was using it a lot when I first got it, and then I just kind of got, I wouldn't say lazy, but it's like, it's kind of a pain in the ass to like mount somewhere. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
like, get it, like if you don't want to take out wires or a stand or something like that, it's a real pain in the ass because it's got some weight to it, and if you just try to like tape it or something like that, it's gonna fall.
Yeah, the first time I did a moon though was actually a paper moon, and it looked really good. It was just a printed piece of paper in front of my light, but I could never replicate it.
Yeah,
somewhere it was a shot of shit. Oh, there it was. That's a piece of paper printed on that one. And that's a statue. That's like one of the few statues I have.
That reminds me, I did that once. I don't remember what the hell the shot was. It was a long time ago. It worked out pretty well, though.
Yeah. I really want. Just before I had my cool Dark Knight figure. So, yeah. And then this one, I used a CD case, or not, like the old spindles. Oh, hold on, can't see through the comment. The old spindles, and I put the light inside that to make it look like she's standing on top of. I don't know if you know magic at all, but she's standing on top of one.
Oh yeah. Or portals, yeah,
her little portals. So I was making it look like that.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay, yeah, I see it.
So it's just a spindle case for like a 50 stack of blank discs.
Yeah.
Nice. So I was pretty happy with that. And then this one is a couple of maybe lume cubes or something behind them with the green gel or something.
That's like a doorway.
Yeah, that's what I was trying, but you see the two of them are stacked on each other, and one's leaning a little bit. So this is kind of crooked. Really, and both of the greens were not the same. I was really annoyed with that too. They're like one was a little bit different. I was like, killing me. I was like, they're set to the same colors. They're set to the same colors, but it wasn't working. But yeah, I've tried several times to get light beams and stuff. This is one of my favorites. I like this one a lot. But that's not why we're here. I was looking for. I like doing these crossovers. This is one that I wish I could have lit up better, but I think for the mood it's there, but I knew it wouldn't print. It would turn out too muddy.
Yeah.
I need to take more pictures of him. He's a fantastic figure, and I need a diorama to redo this one because this one needs the doorway. And it needs the right Mandalorian outfit because this is before I had the other one.
That's nice, Tom.
But let's go back to what you're doing.
I found one.
While we're doing that, I also I'm going to pull up something for later.
Share this.
Part of the show, we go over people that have tagged the hashtag.
I found one that is another example of some scale stuff. This is oh, you got to show it.
Oh, wait. Oh, this one here?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So that's another scale thing. So that's a Mythic
Yeah.
Legions big boy with this is a Boss Fights Studios little 1/18th Knight. So that was cool. I was trying to find the one that I did the moon with. You reminded me that I did that once, and I can't remember what it was. It was pretty cool, but I don't remember what it was. Was it this? No. Anyway. I haven't shot 1.6 in a while. Well, actually, no. You know what? The last thing I did was the Dorval Snow thing. That's why I was trying to break those out. Great figure, terrible company, that John Lennon. Oh, here's the moon. Yeah, I think this was the paper moon, I think. Or maybe that was the plastic one. I don't remember.
It looks kind of like it's projected because you can kind of see. Oh, wait. Never mind. Yeah, like a.
I know. Well, wait a minute. Do I have the? I don't have the behind the scenes. Oh, I do have the behind the scenes. Maybe it was on the screen. Nope. It's the 3D one. Yep.
That's awesome.
Oh, this is using the light painting brushes. So I basically hit the lightsaber with the light painting brush, real quick. I don't know what the exposure on this was. Probably like 2-3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So let the fog fade a little bit, and then hit it with the. So it's good. Got a little bit of a glow to it.
Lightsabers are tricky to light, man. Mainly because you think just the front is good, but no, you got to realize the lightsaber's gonna light up like the one side of the arm that you're not even thinking of, or the
right. So this has got, because I use the light thing, it gets a little glow on him as well, so it worked out pretty well. But I was trying to do this ACBA compliant and not do like a Photoshop lightsaber, so that's why I did it that way.
I did a Photoshop lightsaber, I think, when I did them. I've posted a few things there and got some crap, so I don't post as much as I want to. But
I still do it. I mean, to me, like, listen, a lightsaber has got to be, it's got to be done in Photoshop. It's an effect. You know what I mean? It's got to be done. I don't know if you guys have any of these trees from the. These are more pet store aquarium trees. They're fantastic.
I need them.
Dude.
Yeah.
This is 1/6.
Oh yeah. There you go.
This is 1/6 scale loop. Oh wow.
Yep.
Oh, wow. I need an R2.
That's
R2.
Yeah, that Sideshow R2 is good. And I muddied him up for a shot recently. I didn't care. I got the Sideshow R2, so the Hot Toys R2. So the Sideshow R2 wasn't that precious to me anymore. It's up here somewhere, but yeah.
Oh, look at that Nosferatu you had there in front of the sunlight. That was good.
Oh, that's yeah. It kills me because this is the first. Where was it? I don't even know.
You were scrolling when I saw it, so.
Oh, there it is.
You obviously already passed it.
I got this. So these guys, Mezco's like literally like 20 minutes from me. Their studio, their company, and when they were shipping, and they still do sometimes ship from New York. I was like one of the first people to get it, so I immediately ran downstairs.
Yeah, all you people that were posting that before I got mine, because I got pushed back to the November drop when they were like, "Well, we ran out. You got to wait till November."
Oh, like, for real?
Yeah!
Oh shit, that sucks.
I was so mad. I was like, I want to be one of the first, man. That's one of the reasons I first batched the Boba Fett 2-pack, man. I was like, I ain't doing that again. I want the Boba Fett because he's badass. One shot that I've been wanting to do with him is actually do that shadow shot going up the stairs. How would you do that, you think?
I've seen some people do that. I don't remember who.
Shadow, so you'd have to cast the shit.
Yep. Yeah, it was a fun shot. This one did pretty well, I think. Yes, it's 2000.
That figure is awesome, guys. If you don't mind collecting 112, man, this is like the epitome of Mezco. I mean, it's gorgeous.
It is incredible. As is Doc Nocturnal. I'm happy with Doc Nocturnal too.
No, I don't have a lot of these because I have Michael Myers, I got him, I got Jason, and I got Frank Miller's Dark Knight, which set me back $400
Right.
because I did not buy it when it dropped. I bought it.
No,
Like,
that wasn't it. How was
that
it?
hurt.
I'm trying to find that Luke shot. I don't know. So these are fun. These are all the promo shots that I did for Cosmic Legions when they came out. Not that one. So they're all kind of grayed back. And what I actually did is I took these into Photoshop. And if you know, the first thing anybody does with anything like this that's in silhouette is take it. Somebody takes it into Photoshop and they brighten it up. And so what I did in here in the teaser shots is I actually hid like words like no peeking, no peeking, no peeking, no peeking, no peeking. So if you took this into Photoshop and you brightened it up, you still couldn't see what was behind it. You just saw the words no peeking. And it was great because people did it immediately and they got a kick out of it. It was cool. It was fun. And then you would reveal them. And
Yeah, that was the kind of that light right there behind him. That was a great effect.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's it. So that's the same thing. I've just got, I don't think I have a behind the scenes to this one, but I just got a light sitting over the top. But you can see, I mean, it's a tight grate. And if you really blow, I don't think I blew it through this. I think I just blew it behind him. And
when you say blue, you about the haze or the
fog. And as it may just be, dude, it may just be that you need, like, maybe that haze can't, maybe it's not thick enough. You know what I mean? Maybe you do need a fogger, a fog machine or something. Maybe you should try it out. It might be that. It might be the heaviness.
Like off camera, when I'm looking around, I'm like, wow, look at that. Like, I wish I could get that in my shot.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's exposure time, or I don't know. It's hard to say. But the fog generally does it pretty much every time. If you've got a direct
look at my vape, I can fall back on too, which is as heavy as fog. So
yeah.
Yeah. Instead of the fog, because I was like, if I need fog,
right,
I got it.
Right. Yep. Yeah. I'm trying to think of another good. Yeah. Anyway.
And then I've tried the atomizers, or not the atomizers, but the little, they're like little humidifier things. I've tried those. They just don't produce enough. Yeah,
there's a new one out that it's like a compact. This is pretty cool. It's a compact unit. It's $500 though, but it's all like it's just a little handheld thing, and you can literally just spray the fog wherever you want. It's really cool, and I've given it some serious thought. And I just look at it, I'm like, $500, man. I don't know if I can do that for just fog. I don't know. I'm serious about it, but I don't know if I'm that serious. Let's see. So this
$500 fog. What? Because I was reading R3s at the time you were saying.
It was a little. It's a little fog. It's a handheld, like it's in a kit. Like you put a little cartridge in it, and it fogs up, and it looks great. I mean, it's a nice thick fog that sits on a surface. But the unit itself, not to mention what the cartridges are after you run out, was $500 or $600.
Wow. That haze machine sent me back $250. It was like the base haze machine.
Oh wow.
It was a Chavette though. I want to make sure I got a decent brand at least. So
Okay. I paid $35 for the fogger.
R3 Toy says, I think the heaviness of the fog. They said they really like the effect from the photographers that blow vape versus aerosol.
Yeah, I don't like atmosphere aerosol. I mean, atmosphere aerosol works well to give things like a little bit of a haze to it. And I find it works really well outside. Inside, I find that stuff stinks.
I find $30 a can is just too expensive.
That too, yeah, that's a little crazy. Yeah. So this is all one shot, which most people thought it wasn't, but it was.
I loved in that first one we went over that.
This is another example of. Sorry, go ahead. Of force perspective too, because this is a 6-inch figure and it's 375 figures behind him. But when you see it, it ends up looking just like it did in the original image. I'm sorry, what were you saying? I cut you off.
I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yeah. Wow.
So that's the original. So you can see, like, they just look like they're set back.
So which one was yours? The first one?
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. This came together. So every May 4th, I try to do another Star Wars shot, and I try to. I don't set out to try and top the last one, and I don't know if I ever have, but maybe a couple times I have. But
You're convincing me to buy the mask, though, is what you're doing right now. You know that, right? I'm gonna be like buying a
mask?
HasLab mask, or not Hasbro, but the Hasbro. I don't know what mask you're using, but I assume it's just the Hasbro.
This one, this Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
or
is
Boba Fett or any of those masks. You know.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, yeah, I've used those several times in the back. Well, that first shot you showed, it was the Hasbro mask. I've used that so many times as a background image behind Anakin Skywalker, you know, just underlighted or something like that, and it just it's a really cool effect. I don't think I've done anything with the Boba Fett one yet. But yeah, I set out to do this, and I thought it was going to be really easy because I have the helmet. But when I got down to it, I'm like, geez, I don't have this body. How the hell am I going to do this? You know what I mean? Like so it came together. Another thing, like I'm carving things out of foam. I'm making things out of, painted tin foil and painted rubber and foam and stuff. And I kind of put this together in the course of a weekend. I had a friend of mine make the Chewie head to make it look more like the original dog looking Chewie. But yeah, this I was super happy the way this came out. I was really happy with it.
Beautiful.
So that was last year's May 4th, and then the other one was from the year before that, right?
Yeah, that's like the last year's. I still have one in mind, but I mean, I'm running out of time now, so I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. I may just
I need to come up with it. I mean, you've inspired me to like really sit down and think of something to do for May 4th instead of just taking a Star Wars, like a one Mando or something. You're really
and you get to a point where you're like, I can't do something really simple, because that's half the thing. Is like it's like a big, it's a big project, and I got one more, which is probably going to be the ultimate in difficulty, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off this year, so I better start thinking of something else.
So you don't put up pictures every day like me, or well, of course I didn't put up one today because, like I said, through my back got messed up doing that. But
not anymore.
I try to do one every day, what I should say, but you don't try.
I used to. Every day is still ambitious. That's ambitious. I found like I was getting it done every other day. Oh, here's the muddy R2. I literally like splashed mud all over him.
Oh wow! You did that to a Hot Toys?
Yeah.
That poor Hot Toys.
It came right off, man. It looks good as new. But it's like literally mud. So it wasn't paint or anything like that, but I had to do it. I didn't want to Photoshop it. So
I love that smoke tree too, man. I wish I'd found that cool stuff in my store when I went in there the other day. Did you have to repaint those at all, or is that the color?
No, I haven't yet. I was going to try and detail them, but quite frankly, most of the time they end up just like being in the background like this anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, they're perfect Dagobah trees. I mean, they're great. You got to get them. You got to get some. PetSmart, I think. If you got a PetSmart near you,
okay,
should have them.
Yeah, I'll try one of the. I went to Petco the other day because it was right next to Joann's, and I was in Joann's to get something. I don't remember what I bought now. I've been living at these hobby stores lately, man. Because I mean, like for my Hot Toys, I got all kinds of. Oh, I'm pulling my cord.
Yeah,
I get all kinds of stuff. Like these are from Hobby Lobby. These are from the head sculpts. Put a foam in there, do the head sculpts, and then I got the other ones. I can't reach it; it's weird. But I got like they use them for photograph containers, the little plastic containers, and they come in.
Oh yes, yeah. You could put the whole figure and all their stuff in.
You get those from Michael. They sell them at Hobby Lobby as well, but the Michael's one's got the better class one. So I like the Michael's one. But you have to get them on sale or have them price match Hobby Lobby because they're not. They were on sale this week, so I picked up one while I was there. But I forgot what I bought in Joann's. That's gonna bug me now. Just saying.
I always feel a little off, like going to some of these hobby stores, like looking for. I'm always in weird sections, you know what I mean? Like to have like the little. This is some company that does, I guess what they call scrapbooking that people do, and they have those little objects and things like that you can put in there, and sometimes they're great. There's this one company that makes little jars, little glass jars and bottles and stuff like that, and skulls. Really, really cool for shots.
I remember what I bought now. It was bra clips.
Bra
I bought
clips.
it for my hat so I could hang my mask off of that and see my ears. My wife was
Well,
like,
that's
"You should
even
get
weirder.
those
That
for
must have
buttons."
felt even weirder going in and buying some bra clips.
It works out though, you know. It keeps it off my ear, which because my ears,
sure.
like after an hour of wearing my mask, my ears are like, "I'm out, dude."
Yeah. Yeah.
Call somebody else. We're
Absolutely.
done.
Yeah, Tom
was
said the
showing-
price and the residue it leaves. It does leave a weird residue, that atmosphere I saw.
Yeah.
And you
Good
might
outfit.
appreciate this. I was showing this to Harry. I haven't opened it yet because I'm still messing with my diorama.
Stop that, Moss.
Oh, wow.
I
Here,
hate
let's
you.
let me stop my screen here. There we go.
Ah,
Nice.
I hate you.
I want to unbox it, but I gotta finish my diorama first, or I will never finish it. So
I've been
gotta
playing
finish-
with that a lot. Tom Iawatu uses one of those and he does a lot of post-process effects. He's great at doing that stuff, and that's what he uses. I think he
Well, I
uses
wasn't gonna
that.
use it just for that. I was gonna use it also for like I got to design a new logo. I mean, you got an awesome little logo. I love your 1/6 shooter logo.
Oh, thanks.
But you know, I was
Well, you
trying
didn't have to buy a Cintiq to design a
no, I
logo.
didn't. But the
Could have
logo
saved you a lot of
I'm
money
thinking
there,
of,
Moz.
the logo that mine entails involves me using Illustrator, and it's going to be more drawing stuff. So
Yeah.
drawing with a mouse is impossible. Before we go any further, though, I do want to. Each week we go over the people that hashtagged us.
Yeah.
So we kind of constructive
Oh, cool.
criticism. This is H.
Okay.
Green's shot. This is with some Black Series figures, I think. So Trevor, I'll let you go first, man. What do you think?
Yeah, it's cool. It's a good.
That's what they signed up for when they did this.
Nice centered composition. From what I can see, it's a little. Can I embiggen myself here? Let me zoom. There we go. That's a little bit better. Yeah, nice centered composition. Nice balanced composition. The effects look really good.
Yeah.
Pose looks pretty good. I mean, I think it's a little. There's some comedy involved here, obviously, because he's basically just kind of standing there. But it's kind of a. It's kind of a Clone Wars clone trooper move to just kind of like they're so annoying and stupid that you just kind of all you have to do is stand there and kind of shoot their heads off and they just fall over. So that works. The light from the back is interesting. I don't know if I would have blown out the legs only because I don't know what it is, like the reason for it. It's a nice effect. I might not have had it quite as bright as that. That's just me though. It doesn't detract from it. It's just I don't know. I just don't know what the purpose of
He
it
could
is.
be going for like a hallway he'd been coming down, but didn't have the means to set up the actual.
Yeah, just having something higher. You could just put
Yeah.
a couple of black cards with a light behind that to make it look as if it's like a hallway or something like that. But this looks one of those shots where it's not really environment heavy. It's just there to be. It's the idea of the shot. It's not meant to look like he just broke into a Star Destroyer or I forget whatever the hell they were called then. It's just basically get this comedy shot done. I can't really see. Maybe there is something behind him. Then I can't tell.
Yeah, there's some reddish something going on down there.
Oh,
I
is it
don't know if
maybe it like an octagonal like Death Star type hallway or something? Maybe that's it. Okay.
Yeah, I can't.
I might not just be able to see that. Okay. I thought those were just like some ambient lights or something like that were coming through.
But
Okay.
what I'm seeing in the picture too, I agree. I think that backlight needs to be more like waist high.
Yeah, see, that would be
would
cool.
fun.
Like, yeah, then it would look like there's something behind him, a doorway, a light source or something. And just kind of blowing out his legs looks like almost like you're kind of cutting him at the legs, which when it comes to cropping, you don't want to cut anybody at the knees. It doesn't kill it.
Yeah. If
Still
you
a
want
good
to get
shot.
it down there, I think maybe light it up more of an orange color. It look kind of like a
Yep.
part of an explosion on the ground or something.
Yep. Something that would at least allow his white legs to show through or show up, And I may not be seeing this high res enough to maybe they're visible and I just can't see it. I don't know. That's nice.
Mr. Musashi. Sorry, we're going back to the Ecto 1. He says, talk to an agent at Sideshow literally right now. They said they are making an announcement soon on the Ecto 1.
Okay.
Well, I've already done my business, but that's great to hear because it was not. Yeah, whatever. That's not what we're here today. We'll talk about more of that later. Harry, what do you think?
I think you guys basically kind of covered everything. Clearly, Harold has a really specific way of using his lights here, or just the colors itself. I think he's got maybe a filter on top of it, and I think he does that for every single one of his photos.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's basically the only thing that I'm noticing. And then
it's got a nice grade. Yeah.
Yeah. And since you can't really see the background, I can't really tell whether the lighting is matching with the background. To me, that's a big thing. I always have the background, and I try to match the lighting with the background as much as I can.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So here, there's not a whole lot of motivated lights.
Right.
But either way, it's still a really good-looking shot, and that's what he was going for. So.
Yep. Yeah, maybe if that light was red, because it does look like it might be like there's little red lights or something in that background, and maybe if the light was red, and like you said, Moz, maybe a little more waist high or something like that, or even just set back a little further so it had that continuation or something like that. But again, it doesn't detract from it. It's still a good shot.
No.
It still gets the point across. It's funny. Yeah.
But if they did more of a red or reddish orange, put some of the spark effects in that, it could look like it's coming from those, the droids behind him, like they're blowing up.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
That could have been cool. Just something for next time. What's up, Ace Cream? You are. He says that's just my display lights in the background, and the lights needed to be higher.
A little bit. Yeah. Again, like I said, it's not detracting from it. It's just generally I'm looking for a purpose for a light. Like something. Like you said, like motivated light. Whether it's coming from a fire or whether it's coming from a light source that's in that background, which they look like there's red lights or something like that to be there. That's not doesn't have to be that way. That's just the way I look at it. So still good though.
All right. Well, he's got some other shots. This is his other shot he submitted. Now this one I think really sells. This is a new diorama piece he's making. So he didn't even, I think, really even finish this. You can still see on the phone there, but it works for the shot. So I really dig
gritty.
Yeah.
And I like the little light coming in between the wall and his hand. I love that catch there. It's really good work there.
I would have maybe moved that a little bit higher towards the top of his face. It still looks good, but it does draw your eye there because it is the brightest point of contrast in the shot.
Yeah.
And I really like the way he lit this. Like I love the way he lit the helmet with the underlighting, the red coming underneath the cheek, and he's got a little bit of the yellow orange light coming onto the highlight of the cheek there. It's really
just like saturate a little bit. Yeah.
The color is really nice. The light, I get his idea for that coming through, and it's well done. I just would have brought it closer to where I wanted the eye to be drawn, because I keep bouncing between his head and that point, and there's really nothing at that point. You know what I mean? There's nothing down there to look at except for that piece of light. So totally get the idea. Beautiful lighting. Really like, and it's hard. Red light is hard, man. Red light is. Yeah. I avoid it as much as I can.
Yeah, red light will eat things. It's like a devourer of worlds, especially if you have any other red in your shot. It's like, I want that red for myself.
It is.
You're like, but this Darth Maul needs to show up.
Yeah.
He's got a red
So he did a
lightsaber.
good job of cutting it with that yellow brighter light there. Really nice.
I love this bit here. Just it breaks up that red saturation. Just blood.
Yeah. So you see, if you cover it up with your hand, that bright spot, the highest point of contrast is then his face. It's that yellow streak that's coming down the highlight of his cheek and the dark of his visor, and your eye goes boom right to his face, which is really nice. So just keep that in mind. Like the highest point of contrast is where the eye is going to go in the shot for the most part.
Yep.
Harry, you got anything, or just Trevor taking all the glory?
No, it's fine. He's probably more...
I can't help myself.
It's good, man. H Green, yes, lighting is all of our biggest struggles, man. That's like the majority of the struggle behind photography. I mean, when you think about it, really, once you get the focus that you want, which is just you looking through the lens, going, I like that. The light is where you spend most of your time. So
Now this is well done. The composition is good. You've got his head pretty. It's a little off one of the third lines, but it's still good. It's still where it's this is a pretty straightforward portrait shot coming through, 3/4 body portrait shot. But I would just would move that light to where you want it. Either it means something, it's coming from a ship behind him that you can actually see or something like that. But if it doesn't really have a purpose, I would move it towards the source that you want him to look at. That's it.
And
I've
also,
said that 7 times now.
Yeah, but also like what Trevor was saying
we don't need
earlier.
over here.
What's that? Harry? Sorry.
Never mind.
No, go ahead, Harry.
Shot, yeah. I was gonna say, like Trevor was saying earlier, try and use bounce lighting as well, because that will give you like a softer, shadow, softer highlights. So I basically avoid all kinds of direct light because it just gives you that really, really contrasty highlights that I'm not.
As a matter of fact, in this shot, if you had taken that light and kind of put it over behind that, at least facing our right hand side, and given it a little rim light on the body with white light, as opposed to like
where my mouse is.
No, back behind. I would have just hidden it behind the wall and just had it become a rim light on the side of his face and the side of his body, just to kind of define him against the background. Would have been really kind of cool.
The only issue he's going to run into with this is because I know he didn't paint this, so this is pink foam, so it's not going to be a white light if he's bouncing, unless he gets a whole other bounce card on the back side of this.
No, it wouldn't show there. You'd actually you'd put it behind it. So what I'm saying is, he would be behind the figure, but hidden behind that wall. So it's just going to be a rim light, basically. It's going to be yeah.
Well, he's got some other shots too, but next up we got AO.Z.
Yes.
And
classic.
This is a cute little scene here.
Yeah,
I like this.
Is this the Mezco set? Yeah, right. The 5 points.
I don't know.
I think it's the 5-point Mezco set. Yeah, this is cool.
Those aren't the Mezco figures, though. Those are little reaction figures or something.
That's what I mean. No, yeah, they're it's a 5 points Mezco Batman classic Batman set.
Oh, so this is like the figures that come with that too. They're not your
it comes with all the villains and everything. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
The only thing, and I keep having to reiterate this with AO.Z, he doesn't get enough light on his main subjects.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, a bounce card right over on the other side of that ladder, just facing Batman, would have been perfect. This would have been awesome. Yeah, it's just he's too much in shadow, and he's a focus of the shot. Catwoman is fine. She could use a little bit of rim light, which that bounce card would have done. Yeah.
R3 Toys, he's saying, one great thing about toy photography is how good it is at is practice for real life portraiture.
Oh, absolutely.
I apply the same techniques to both, and lighting is always the factor that makes or breaks the picture.
Dude, I tell so many people go on when they want to, like, how do I start with this and with lighting and learning lighting? I'm like, go onto YouTube. There are 1,001, 1,000,001 videos on portrait lighting. Yep. Learn how to light a portrait, learn how to light a face, the different techniques used for it. And all those techniques can be applied to a bigger set and smaller figures, man. It's all right there. It's all the same stuff.
And Harry, were you going to say something about this when I cut you off with that? I apologize.
No, I think it was the other shot that was like.
Oh, okay.
No, we good.
So we'll move on. Somebody took one of my shots, and I don't know what they're doing with it. They're doing something with it. Maybe.
That's your shot?
Yeah, that's one of my older Predator shots. Somebody,
that's a no. That's a no.
Well, they tagged my thing, but they didn't tag me.
Yeah, but
they're using. Oh, I didn't even go. These are all my shots.
Interesting. I guess it's a little gallery. I guess.
I don't know what this guy's doing.
Interesting.
I can't read it. I have to bring this in.
That's a Russian.
I want to check that one out. I will tell you that the community is very good about people like stealing and not. At least he credited you, I guess. But there's been so many instances where somebody has just put up shots on their Star Wars page and just didn't put a credit. We find them and we go after them.
Yes.
I don't. He's not trying to. I mean, he tagged me with the hashtag.
Yeah.
which he didn't have to do. He didn't tag me properly. If he did I don't mind
Yeah.
people using my work as long as they tag me
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
these things. But you know what his message is, and I'll go with it. You know, he says soon they will arrive to clean up the Ukraine territory. So you know, the message
Okay.
is pure.
All right. Yeah. I guess all right. We'll
Here's
leave that
another one
alone
of
for
his.
now.
Here's another one of AO.Z's shots.
Oh, this is much better. Much
Yeah.
better.
much
much
better.
better.
He's got the lighting on pretty well. I think it's whatever process he's using that's kind of just, it could be the monitor mode too. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it is the monitor mode. All right, don't worry about it. I'll shut up and let you guys talk about it.
Go ahead, Harry.
The lighting looks fine on my laptop, but this monitor is a little bit more washed out. And so
Okay.
it was like messing with me. Just I can't figure out what the setting is that's making it do that, but it does that. So
Go ahead,
That's
Harry,
for
before
me.
I start talking.
I
all
was gonna
over this.
say, that's good for me. You know, just rim light. I love rim lights. Just throw one in there, bring the figures out, and it'll just.
Yeah, you really only need a bounce card for the rim light on this too. I mean, it would you could do a rim light, yeah, sure. The only other thing I would say is it's a little. I would have tightened this up. I don't know what the reason for. I mean, your focus subject is Alfred.
Yeah.
He's in the middle of the screen, which is fine, but it would have brought a lot more interest. And I don't think you even need to see their lower half of their bodies. If you crop this to the point where Alfred is on the left third, and then Bruce Batman is out of focus, it looks a little bit better that he's out of focus because he'd be really close to the camera. Right now, it looks like you're very far back, and yet he's out of focus. Like it's hyper focused on Alfred. So I'd go back, man, because it's a good shot. I would crop it so you just have again. This is what I was getting at earlier with your dioramas. The diorama is really cool. The set is really cool. Don't be so enamored with your diorama and sets. It's gonna come through. You're gonna see the little bits and pieces of it that make it look realistic. You don't have to see the whole thing to make it look cool. Like cropping that right around Bruce and Alfred would make this a much more dynamic, interesting shot. You know, because you'd be focusing on Alfred's face. I'd go back and crop it, man. It'd be a great shot, really great shot.
My big thing lately is camera tilts too.
Yeah,
that odd angle.
Like me some
Dutch angles and stuff. Yeah.
I've just fallen.
Those got to be used with care. If you want to look at somebody that does that excellently, it's Tom Iawatu, who's in the chat. He's great at that, and not overusing it and doing it right so that it works, and it's not just a matter of, oh, these guys are standing straight, let me tilt the camera. You know what I mean? There's a reason for it. They're sort of going in that direction. There's an arm extended that way. You know, you gotta work with that Dutch angle. It's tricky.
Well, one of the best ones that I did. We're gonna skip real quick and go to this. That I think the angle worked really well for was come on, where are you? This one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because
this is giving
more height of Predator. You know, just
really solid height of Predator.
You use this when you want to censor foreboding, like you want to give power to another figure, or add drama to it. You know what I mean? Like again, like kind of a no, you don't.
Yeah, no, you don't, Tom.
You know, a sense of scale, like in that shot that my most recent shot where the woman is behind the wall. That's a slight angle to that. She has the presence. She's up close, but she's almost hanging back, and the other two are above her, the two bad dudes, giving them a little more presence and a little more power. So that's a good way to use it. So that works perfectly.
Yeah, but as you see, I've started falling in love with using it too. Oh wow, there's a lot of pictures. I didn't even see these. All right. Well, I can't skip. Skip. Where was I at?
You were at Batman, the second Batman one.
No, there we go.
Yeah, that one.
I like this shot better, H green, between the two. This is H green as well.
I think that's when the light's actually behind him, like what Trevor was saying earlier.
Yep. So I would again like this is a crop away from being a little bit more dynamic. I love the right side with the window in the thing. I don't see much that I need to see that much of that wall on the left-hand side. There's really nothing, and it's also very bright, and it's pulling a little bit away from your main subject. So I would crop that almost down to nothing,
Mhm.
I do like this little
and then
texture thing here, though.
it's
A
cool,
little
but
bit
like,
detailed, yeah, but
But no,
like,
it's not necessary. I just kind of
yeah, your subject is Mando. So, and it's also going to give you look up the rule of thirds. I mean, maybe it's something you already know, and there's nothing wrong with centering a shot,
Mhm.
but there's no reason to have that much over on the left. You could crop that so that the Mando is on the left third, and it
Yeah.
would be perfect. I think this would be an
so
awesome
move
shot.
Mando from around here to like
I would
over the
crop,
wall with him.
yeah, I would basically crop almost the entire left wall out, except maybe just a little bit of the edge, and that's it.
Mhm.
And I think it'd be a fantastic shot.
Harry, anything you want to add?
Oh, no, yeah, that's basically it. Just rule of thirds.
All right, next one we're gonna let Harry go first because I'm tired of that answer.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. I know.
I'm pretty sure Trevor is way more qualified to talk about this than
All right, here's
I
another H screen. Harry, go.
Oh,
am. Back to Trevor. No, I'm just kidding. This is another, example of that, kind of filtered look that I was talking about with H screen, where everything
Okay.
looks a little bit blown out, and that one light in the back again, kind of a little bit blown out, and you can't really see too much of the background, so it doesn't really quite match with the background. But I see what he's going for. It's really similar to that other shot we were looking at earlier.
So for me, it's selling that doorway better though, because you can actually see a little bit of an outline of the doorway over here.
Yeah.
So
You see a little
I'm
bit
actually okay with the blown out legs a little bit. It looks like they've come through, they've fought their way through this bottleneck of sorts, and they got some stormtroopers or whatever on the ground here. But I kind of like it.
I love the pose.
I like it a lot too. I love the composition and the poses. Composition's really, really nice. I think I'm kind of getting what he's doing here. I think he's kind of like a poster. It's almost a poster image. Like that background doesn't mean anything. At first I thought, oh, it's some sort of explosion, which I'm always like against, like just putting random explosions behind people, but it only works for people sometimes. But I actually, this kind of looks like almost a posterized effect at the bottom where he's got them blown out so much, or it may be like you said, Harry, it's the color overlay that he's putting on this, a gradient overlay or something like that. But it almost gives it a poster feel. Like there's no, you're not trying to make this an environment or a scene like it's not a movie scene. It's basically there's a light there just to make it look cool, and the poses are cool, and we don't know who they're shooting at, but it's just like stormtroopers, man. I probably would have gotten rid of that guy laying in the front because I think they would have looked a lot cooler if one of them wasn't dead already.
I know, that's kind of digging that. Like they fought their way to this point here. They lost a man on the way.
Maybe they just look very dramatic and actually heroic and cool here, and it's kind of like, it's fine. But I like this one. I think this is probably the best one I've seen from him so far.
Oh, he's got another great one here. We'll get to it though. I think it made the top list of my hashtag here. This is not it, but this is still pretty good.
Talking about that one, yeah.
This is I like this a lot more.
Yeah,
the lighting is just much more dramatic here. I think it fits.
All right, Christopher, we'll back up and we'll check that out here in a minute. Because we've been doing a lot of H screen here. This is H screen as well. I'm pretty happy with this one. There's not much.
Composition is great.
Yeah, there probably needs to be something maybe background wise here, because maybe just some atmosphere, like if you can get some fog or something, just something to kind of not have that just so black back there. But
this again, like if he's gonna have that figure in the foreground be that dark, I would have put a little more light on that, but crop it down again to just focus on that central figure. Crop it down to just above that guy on the left, the red bright stormtrooper on the left, just above his head, and then crop it up just underneath maybe the main figure's arm somewhere, so that you're framing him with all the stormtroopers. You know what I mean? You're kind of creating a circle around him, because there's nothing down in the bottom there that you really need. I mean, there's no story you're telling down in the base of this thing. You can't see the front figure. And I don't need to see half of his legs. So just like crop that real tight and focus on that stormtrooper face, because the rest of it is great. The way he's got him surrounded by other figures and they're all kind of pointing at him and surrounding him, and the light is doing the same thing. So that's nice.
R3 is saying, I'm loving these critiques. I'm going to start zooming out in Photoshop to match size I'd see on my phone. I think the big space on a monitor makes it easy to add too much environment to an Insta photo. This is true. I
Yeah.
probably need to do the same thing, to be honest with you. Some of my shots.
Start zooming out in Photoshop to match the size idea. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Mhm.
I like it, but yeah, I agree that probably cropping above this gun, because you can't see this gun anyway. It's just
Yeah.
a blurred
Yeah,
mess.
it gets a little muddy and lost at the
Yeah.
bottom of this whole shot.
So-
And then, like you said, Moz, there's nothing really going on at the top either. So if there's nothing there to pull your eye down and there's nothing on the bottom to really force your eye up, then crop it out.
Yeah, you can do a landscape crop like this.
Yeah,
that would work
exactly.
pretty good.
Exactly.
Where's the one that I wanted to talk about? But God, I don't even know where it is. All right, let's go back up because it's in my top whatever. This one here is a portrait he did.
Like that.
Trevor, you've been ripping them new ones all day. Let's see. What do you got to say about that?
Oh, what? I thought I'd been pretty nice. I think this is good. I mean,
we're
you
all
know, if you
being
put yourself up for
constructive,
critique, I'm going to critique. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
no,
it's-
no. I'm just putting it around.
Believe me, I went through art school, man. I got my ass handed to me several times.
I like the detail you
Um,
see on this trooper. I love it. You know, even the
Mhm.
rhyme on it and everything. It looks like a real trooper. It doesn't look like a. This is a Black Series. You know, it doesn't look
Oh,
like
wow.
a Ford. So
Nice. You did some nice weathering on it then.
I like the highlights on it. It just looks like, you know, like a
I think this
window
is
or
pretty-
an overtop, like overhead light or something.
Yeah.
With a little bit
This
on
is
his
a nice
helmet.
combination of lights. You know, the red isn't too overpowering, and
Mhm.
I love top-down lighting like that. It's very
It shoots
dramatic.
as it can take it.
But yeah, this is a nice shot. This is a good
I like the
portrait.
shot a lot.
let me refresh this so we can see Christopher stuff in here. 'Cause, let's see. There we go. Oh, this is awesome.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Now, having
like
just said what I said about explosions for no
Explosion.
reason behind it, but there is, I mean, this is a character that you expect to see that happen with,
That's
so
true.
I'm okay with it. Here, it has a story element to
No.
it.
That was a Hot Toys Stormtrooper squad leader.
okay.
My bad.
Oh, really?
I thought it was
Okay.
Black Series. Oh, still look great.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing this picture I think is lacking is the fact that this is, you know, a segmented McFarlane body and not like a Hot Toys. Where's our Hot Toy? You know,
It's kind of the same for Hot Toys, though, right?
yeah.
Don't hate on that
Joints.
1/12 world Moth. Come on.
I just hate the joints. You know,
See, I was like, I noticed you. Oh no, that wasn't you. But somebody was doing something where they were Photoshop. I did an experiment a long time ago where I'm like, do you like the shot with the joints? I did a Princess Leia, kind of reproduced one of her portrait shots from when she was in the movie, like when she's like doing this or something like that.
Mhm.
And I took out the joints and I put it out to people like, which one do you like better? And it was pretty much came back 50-50. But I like the idea that it's, if you make the shot good enough, and if you're trying for realism, and not everybody is trying for realism in a toy shot, but if you're trying to make it, you know, look real on initial look, I like the idea that you then kind of look at it and go, oh, that's a toy.
yeah.
Oh, you know what I mean? Whereas if you take all the joints out, it's possible that you just don't get what you're looking at. You know what I mean?
I like to be able to tell people it's a toy and they go, you know, but
Joints are ripped seamless figures.
yeah,
that's true,
I
though.
understand. And it's not the fact that she has joints. To a certain degree, I can Photoshop on him.
Oh, that kinda
But
cut out
when you
the
get to
window.
this much, it gets a lot more complicated.
Yeah.
The one thing I want to critique, though, literally, and Christopher, I think this is a great shot, but you obviously had to retake this shot a lot of times. There's just a lot of water buildup on her. It's kind of unnatural.
Oh, I can't see that. Yeah.
Other than that, you know, it looks great. I mean, the water on the ground looks like it's a wet asphalt or something, so the buildup there is
cool.
not a problem. But just like I've seen a whole bunch of droplets of water that obviously.
Oh, is there? Oh, I can't see that.
Over
Okay.
here.
And you know,
Scale-wise
and I
over
understand
here.
it's a pain in the ass because this figure is not going to want to stand. And you're going to sit there and play with that. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get it, but you know,
I did this with a Batman shot. I reproduced kind of an Alex Ross thing where he's got the two gargoyles on either side of him. and I used a real fine mister, which really works well to get those, because you like what you're talking about is those big drops that tend to, like, if you do it too much, they start to pull together, and then you've got big drops of water that looks terrible scale wise, like you're saying. So I had to wipe that guy down like 5 or 6 times. You know, I had to do it again.
If you have the shot you want, you have the shot you want before you even start spraying it. Take one without the spray, so that you can wipe down the body in Photoshop. You can just
you
bring
can do
that those drops in Photoshop.
Yeah,
you can,
I mean, you probably wouldn't see too many drops sitting on her skin anyway. Her skin would be wet. It's not a surface that their drops are really going to like sort of sit on anyway. So you probably want that to be just shiny, but it doesn't have to have the droplets.
So the arms and the chest, that those water droplets forming there is the only thing I really got to say about that. In any kind of otherwise, though, I can't.
Okay, so her left leg is backwards, right? It's going back. Is that right? It's hard.
Her left leg or camera left?
Yeah. No, camera right, her left leg.
Yeah.
That's the one that's moving
That's
backwards.
the one that's back leg, yeah.
Okay. So, just always watching that walking motion with the, the arm going the right way, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, well, that's I gotta always do that, man. I gotta stop myself and like walk for a second and be like, okay, yeah, that's my lead foot, that's my arm. Okay.
That will leap out, and you'll just be looking at it and go, there's something not right here. But there's something not right. What the hell is it? And it's like your right leg and your right arm are going forward. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
I like the shot. I like the shot.
For also a practical rain effect, really nice.
Yeah. Usually you speed up the shutter when you want to do that, though, so you can get the droplets a little differently, but it still works.
I like that effect. I did that on my Batman when it was more streaky than it was like droplet. It works.
The only other thing I want to critique is a little bit with the pose, and that's just her hand holding the spear is just it's tilted and kind of funny from the camera angle.
Yeah, it does. That looks a little off. It's not pulling me out of it, but I did see that too. Yeah.
If I were to do this pose, though, I would probably have the hand in more of a resting kind of down position and have that spear pointing down to the ground and up behind her.
I mean, that's a good point, and not to critique, because this is a good shot and it works as it is, and you don't have to, if that's not the attitude you wanted her to have, but you can also, if for other people who are doing this, you can tell a lot of a story through the pose of someone. She may have just gone through a lot of shit and is walking away from an explosion, and she may be tired. You may want her to look a little like she's like, you know what I mean? But this looks like she's kind of proud. She's crazy, so for this character, it kind of works. She's just going to.
It's just that wrist built turned inward,
shaking her head or whatever. Yep, that's that wrist turn could be weird to make it better. Yeah.
That was all that was added, I guess. But Chris, thanks for sharing that, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Here's AO.Z's new Batman figures.
Yeah.
This was added 5 days ago, so this was part of this week.
What are these, the McFarlane?
Yeah, the new McFarlane, the Batman figures.
Doesn't look too bad.
No, not a bad looking figure. I think he's still a little too dark though. He's just kind of fading into the foreground.
Oh, you mean in the photograph? Yeah,
in the photograph, just a little.
Again, you can still get that drama. A brighter light as a key light in front of him, and then a bounce card. That's all you need. Is you can do this with one light. Well, 2 lights with your red, your light lighting up your background or whatever. But that's all you need.
Yeah, the red backlight's working though. I like that.
Yep,
that's a nice smooth range of red going through there. So you got to, I guess, bounced off of something. Or
if this was simply a silhouette and you were really going for that silhouette feel, I think I would have put the key light a little more off to the side so that you're just getting the edge of his face and the contour of the motorcycle, and then the rest of him could be very, very dark. But it doesn't look like you're trying to get a little more detail here, so you need a little bit of a bounce card on the on his left.
Well, he's got some light source hitting him in the front. I don't know if it's a room light or not, but you can see like a little bit of reflection here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that could be a little brighter and then just bounce it so that you get a little bit of a rim light. But again, if you were trying to go for that, like just trying to get the silhouette and get the edge light kind of going around the contours of him and the bike and maybe hitting some muscle a little bit here, I would just pushed that back a little bit more to have it more parallel with him, so it just catches those. But so it's like how you pick it. But where it is, it's almost like Maz said, it's a little too dark in the dark areas.
And trust me, I'm the king of too dark.
Me too.
It's hard. You want to get moody and stuff, and then it's like, it's so moody that I can't even tell what the hell's going on.
Like this one was really hard for me because I think because this is inspired by Elliot's stuff that he did with that. I really took to heart some of that reaching stuff. In fact, this is Maul's hand I put on Mando because he doesn't have a hand like that.
Oh no!
And then I did some Photoshop to make that
interesting.
Turn it more gold than orange, but it's the best I can do.
Yeah, this is cool.
But I want it more light here, and I just could not bounce it onto his face at all. And
a little tiny card just angled like off to the side.
I couldn't get it. I tried so many different ways. I don't, of course, have a card there now, but that's my BTS. There's my nice new goosenecks that I was using there.
There you go.
There's one on that. So that's lighting up the hand. See, I was trying to bounce it onto his face there, but I probably need.
Yeah, I think just. Oh, you got a light over there too.
Yeah, I was trying to get his face lit up. Just trying to get that little bit. But,
yeah, I think just a little bit of a white card off, sitting like right over, just off camera.
Like this.
But then you'd have to point something at it probably to get enough light to light it up if you didn't have one lit, hitting it already. Maybe that lume cube there or something. I don't know.
Yeah. See, the problem is, the gun. It was, I needed to focus to get that gun in there too. So anything close enough to get into his face is going to get on camera.
But go back to the shot. You're shooting this raw, right? You're shooting this in raw.
Should be raw.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go into the masking and you take a gradient mask, draw it up from the bottom, because the Terminator is perfect. I mean, that's perfect. And then, just play with that, with the brightness and the clarity. You could totally fix this. I mean, all the data is there. It's all there.
I masked it, but I think what happened is whatever tool was creating this weird, like, out of context kind of effect. It was just the way Lightroom was handling it. It was like it was really evident once I brought it up brighter the way I wanted it that it was like kind of like pasted on top of them or something. It was just kind of weird. Just the way the masking tool was working.
You could totally fix that and make that really.
But this is the direct descendant from after watching y'all stream and
seeing
Elliot's.
I think he just did another one of those too.
Yeah, I really liked it, and I was like, I've never played around with that
the out of focus
perspective thing, and
it's a cool way to look at things.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot, but I was trying to figure out who had a hand that I could use because I had nobody with a good reaching hand, and then I was like, oh wait, Rex has got one. He's got that open hand. So.
Right.
But like this one, I think is too dark. This is the one I used for today's thumbnail, but this could be lit up more, I think. And
I think right in between him and Pennywise, like right underneath. Yeah, exactly where you had your mouse right there, just right in there, a little bit of light to him. Yeah, it's there. Dude, you should be able to bring this stuff out in Lightroom. I think it's there. And the lighting is nice, so it's like it's just getting that area lit up without making it look artificial.
That's my problem. Is
Lightroom,
I can't find that middle road to make it not look artificial.
But I think if you brought the brightness up on that overall, it would be better too.
This is one of my favorite shots I did recently, though.
That's nice.
I like this.
Good. I love the color grade.
Yeah, it's a preset in Lightroom, and then of course I drew some rings around his eyes to light him up. I was like that. I did it with all of his eye shots. In fact, I did it behind the scenes. So you got a blue bounce. That's a purple bounce actually. There's a red and a blue gel there. I don't know why I said bounce. Trying to find something. And then I had the light right here on the camera, or no, right below the camera. So yeah, that's it. So
very cool.
Yeah. Some see if there's anything else you want to go over.
So this is kind of this is kind of what I was talking about.
Oh yeah, what you got?
I mean, it's really not apples to apples, but
Your slide that I want to break open?
I'm bringing up Instagram. Hang on a second.
Okay.
Not the greatest shot in the world, but this is what I'm talking about with that, just that rim light, just getting some of the highlights of it. You know what I mean? With the Batman, if you just wanted to get the edging and some of the key elements of it, and then just fade the rest into black, you know, but you got to get enough so that it defines the figure before you start fading it into too much blackness.
Yeah.
That's it.
I like it. I like it a lot. I need a Darth Vader figure, but I wish Hot Toys would stop using so much pleather on them, because I don't want a whole pleather fest of Vader.
I gotta say, mine hasn't. I have never had problems with pleather on anything yet. I mean, I don't know if it's very cool down here. I'm in a basement, Dutch angle there, but there's no. I mean, I have a dehumidifier, so I don't know. I've never had any flaking or anything. I know somebody was selling like custom-made leather outfits for Darth Vader a few years ago. I didn't buy one, but
I got one for my Terminator because my Terminator 1 battle damaged one with the leather jacket and stuff, the MMS 238, his jacket was starting to flake. But again, really? I was posing him a lot, so I think that was what was really doing it, because the pleather, you handle enough, it's just going to start going, I don't want to be here anymore.
There is...
So I bought him a new leather jacket.
There is a treatment for pleather.
Yeah.
You've seen that? Okay, you got that.
Okay. I don't have any by me, but I use finisher, acrylic finisher, Argulus or whatever. They make a lot of leather based products and stuff, and I just put a clear coat of finisher on everything that I get now that has pleather on them, and it does a good job of keeping it sealed so it doesn't just fall apart. So,
but can you move it without cracking it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's made for leather products, so it's made to be able to move a little bit. I don't know what's in it, but it's let me grab it. Hold on. I'll grab it.
Yeah, this stuff is a pleather. It's specifically made for pleather, and it kind of supposed to keep it soft or supple.
Yeah.
Word I hate.
I steer clear from moving anything with pleather, but like you said, I don't really have any problem with any pleather as of yet.
I have that Captain America, the rescue version, with the leather jacket on it. And that's the only one that I regularly spray that one down, because it's the only one I'm really worried about. It's almost got that feel to it when I got it, because I think I actually bought it from somebody who was in Indonesia.
Okay.
When I got it, it was fine, but I don't know how long it had been out. And Indonesia is just a pleather killer.
Yeah, just anywhere in Asia, really.
Yeah, nobody there has anything that's lasted more than 5 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, I bought the Tracker Predator, and it was brand new at first. Everything looks fine, and I moved him for 3 times, and the pleather on his little hilt thing completely cracked. And it's like, what the heck? I moved this thing once.
Yeah.
I'm
worried more about the little belts and stuff like that. That's
the belts too.
Yeah.
So I don't even touch them anymore. I'm saying, all right, I'm just gonna stand there. I'm just gonna stand there forever.
You don't get shot. You just stand there.
Yeah. And when you do, you're just gonna be in that same pose every single time.
Pose once, shoot multiple times.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. R3 is saying use a curves adjustment layer to brighten, and then adjusting the blend to remove the curves and the highlights. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying.
And another great trick to... Oh, sorry, were you gonna say?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say another great trick to just dealing with shadows that you want to brighten as well is to just light paint it, and then you can just take a separate shot, and then you can throw that into Photoshop, and then you just blend it together.
Yeah, there's a Mr. Lee. Do you know Mr. Lee?
I don't think I know Mr. Lee.
Mr. Lee he kind of blew up recently. He does a lot of he gets a lot of custom figures made. He gets a lot of heads that he has that people paint. He must have people working 24/7, because he's constantly coming out with new stuff that's and he's one of these guys that mixes and matches things, and a lot of times he'll Photoshop things. He'll Photoshop the Hulk in a different color, and then put a Captain America shield on him, or so, just wacky stuff like that. But he does a lot of that. You can tell that he will light paint highlight, rim lights, and then bring it in Photoshop, because he'll do stuff where there's like multiple figures behind each other, and each one of those things is like perfectly rim lit. And I'm like, well, there's no freaking way you're doing that. You know, it's got to be Photoshop. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. That's his style. But you're right. That's another good way to do it too.
Yeah, I do that with like all of my shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I light everything with just one light, and then I paint everything.
All light painting.
Yep.
Wow. Interesting.
I'm going to zoom in real quick and show you what I use here.
Sure.
This is the Argulis matte acrylic finisher.
Okay.
One of those.
Interesting.
If I move up with it,
Yep.
there we go. I can read it. So this stuff is says using a paintbrush, sponge, or rag, apply evenly to leather and allow to dry. So I mean, it's made for leather products. I also have a satin one, so it's a little shinier. So that's what I would use. Sometimes I'll just throw some of this on. It depends on the day, but usually now when I buy a hot toy, if it's got any pleather on it, I go ahead and like belts and straps. I'm just painting this stuff on.
So this is
Moz, for Venom, is there like a certain
for Venom
that you recommend for Venom? Yeah. Okay.
This is what you want to use for Venom.
Okay, all right.
Shinichi silicone grease. It's Honda silicone grease.
And then just throw a layer on top of it.
You're gonna have to rub it in with rub your fingers. Get it on your fingers. Rub your fingers together and just kind of oil it up.
Oh, I see.
It's gonna help lock in that moisture and make it nice. And I did that for this guy here.
Yeah, that's another thing right there.
Oh, what is that? Like a 303 kind of stuff? Let's see.
Faux leather conditioner and cleaner.
Okay.
But like this is the equivalent of your Venom here, and I use grease all over this. So.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So he's got a rubber
I gotta
bottle.
pick that up. Okay.
Yeah, you can order it on Amazon for like $20 for that little bottle. So it's a little pricey. But...
Yeah, it's not too bad. Probably.
Yeah. But I mean, I've used it on several things, and I've barely gone into it. I mean, think about toothpaste.
It's always nice to have.
Same kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
it shouldn't last too long. Toothpaste shouldn't last long.
It lasts longer than you'd think, though, is what I'm saying. You know, the squeeze bottle goes a long way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I would suggest for taking care of your figures. Particularly like if you're going to pose them a lot, I got the finisher on here. That's what I use. So
cool.
But I use this for like my Ed 209. I'll put this on the rubber type joints and stuff because, well, for one, I just haven't pulled out the Shinichi grease on him yet. But it's got like rubber around the joints and stuff. So I'll probably end up using Shinichi grease from now on. But what's up, Alan Rapport? How you doing?
Hey, Alan. What's going on, man?
Hello.
Friend of yours, Trevor?
Yep.
Oh, because I heard that familiarization in your voice.
Yep. Another good photographer. Put up a great shot today. So, you got anything else we want to go over tonight, or is Alan kind of late? Yeah, Alan's late to the party. That's all right. I always join his IG lives like right when they're done. He'll be like, "Yeah, we talked about a whole lot of stuff. Sorry you weren't here."
Yeah, we've been going about 3 hours now.
I'm throwing it right back at you, man. We're getting the hell out of here, and you get nothing. You have to watch the replay.
I had expected a 2-hour stream when we started, so we're 3 hours. I don't mind.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
I don't mind either.
So, I'm enjoying shooting the breeze, but you know, I'm sure you guys.
I got a little bit of a hard stop probably around pretty soon, but I am enjoying. I could go. I could talk about this crap all night.
Well, we would love to have you back some other time, man. Like,
hell yeah, man.
When I don't throw my back out, I want to do some more behind the scene processes and take more pictures, of course. And I'm really looking forward to doing the behind the scenes for this one when I have all this stuff because I got this cool shot in mind for my Batman.
Can't wait for that.
Like a lot of these are foreground elements, right? I'm going to have a couple of these foreground elements and have the camera going through them to Batman, top lit. And I of course need some of these for background elements as well. It's like he's in a warehouse. I was thinking about maybe like doing the detective work, or I can have him like in a pose where he's like kind of bring it, like something's out there somewhere, which actually might work better. You know, kind of like that he's looking around for something because he heard.
Now,
something.
do you have any 1/12 figures? Or are you strictly 1/6?
I have some 1/12, but this is made for 1/6. I mean, that's a big crate. I mean.
Yeah, but I think if you put some of those in the background, you could actually have somebody sort of like hiding from behind one or something like that, you know, behind him, and he's force perspective. There you go.
Yeah.
Might be able to pull it off.
The whole point, the whole thing that the whole inspiration for the shot was actually I was watching Arcane. I don't know if you've seen that, but
Oh yeah, it's great.
they did a shot similar to that where like something ran by in the foreground.
Oh yeah.
It was I think when Jinx came through,
I know.
ran by in the foreground while they were in that. It was in episode 4 when they're underneath that Zeppelin boat thing, and they're looking for, and you see those crates and stuff in the foreground, and they're the guy's looking for the subject, and she runs by like a black blur, like barely in focus at all, and just.
That would be tricky. That would be pretty cool. That'd be tricky to pull off. You'd have him back a little further, maybe kind of turning, on his heel. And how you have somebody go by, and I mean, you could literally just pull a 1/12 figure across the camera, you know what I mean, and get that blur, and it would be kind of that might be cool.
Or I could do it with a 1/6 figure.
Yeah.
It'd be harder, but I can put it on like a
only because it's going to be bigger, and like I don't even know if you need that much bulk. I don't know. That's an experimental one. They couldn't even tell.
That's the next one I plan to go full BTS on, though. So I'm gonna have to like just set up the camera and just have it record as I shoot.
Yep.
Which means that I'll probably be playing with trigger problems again, like I did the last time I did. My remote trigger's like, I don't know who I'm talking to.
I don't know if I'd want to do a live. I've done some live BTSs on Instagram, but to like set out to like soup to nuts, like I'm just gonna like from scratch do one. I don't know about that. I'd have to have it pretty well set up beforehand.
I would definitely have the camera recording the whole time though, because I know if I'm not recording the whole time, you're not going to see me try to get that blur in camera or anything like that. Right. So I need to be recording the whole time.
Yep.
So that should be fun. But that's the next one I intend to do. So I got to finish this diorama thing. But I keep thinking of other things I want to add to it. Like maybe I should build some shelves and put some boxes for the background and have the crates in the foreground. And maybe I should make a little handle.
Do you ever use a digital background?
I have not had much luck with that.
What's been your issue with it?
Well, for one, I got a 40-inch television that's got a problem with it. The LED, is kind of bad, or so it's got lines in it. So I got kind of image quality once you get towards the upper third of it. It's only 40 some odd inches, and I'm working with Hot Toys, so the angle, and I don't have a low enough table for the stand to come out of the equation, and it's just been a mess.
Oh, to line up with the TV. Okay,
it's been a mess.
That's why I got this desk that can go up and down. It's so much easier. When it comes to that.
The IKEA tables, if you get the legs that adjust, they're a little bit of a pain, but they can go up and down. I went and I was doing that for a while, and I would set up something, and for the angle that you need it at, and you've probably been through this, Harry, like you got to get lower than the TV, and then there's times when you got to be even with the bottom of the TV because you want to get. So after a while, I bought a TV stand, like an AV thing that I can lower the TV and raise the TV, because lowering the table is if I had an electric table that goes up and down, that would
mine is a crank one, so I have to crank.
Oh well, I'd take that even. That's better than this.
Yeah.
And the other problem, I just not been able to work the lighting out that
CH
that's supposed to come from that source, and versus the figures, I've not been able to get the lighting right when I'm using it.
Lighting is kind of tricky when you're using a monitor for sure, because there are times when you want something in the back of the figure, and then it's like, well, it's in camera now, so it's kind of tricky to take that out.
So one of the keys to, that's what I was going to get at. I didn't know if that was what your problem was. Let me get out this stuff. I don't know if you've.
Here's one of the last times I tried to use the television for the background.
Yeah, you can kind of see the.
But if it's out of focus enough, if you bring that down to.
But he's still not, like, it's obviously a background behind him because of the separation between him and that. I couldn't get the lighting right.
It's tricky. It's tricky to just do a screen and a figure. I find that what you want some intermediary props. Like if you had those boxes ready and those boxes were just sitting behind Pennywise, and then I try to, I think if you look at any one of my shots, I would say the screen that I use in the background ends up being, and I don't do this consciously, but I try to do this, keep it to about 30% at most of the image. I don't
Okay.
want it to be 50% of the image. I don't want it to be the majority of the image, because that is going to throw it off like that. It is going to look like you're just shooting a figure in front of a screen. But for lighting, I mean, if you find you're getting reflections, which was one of my major problems when I started doing digital stuff, cinefoil. So this stuff, you could buy a roll of it on Amazon for it's not cheap. It's like $30 for a roll, but this roll will I have one roll that's lasted me 3 years. So because you can keep reusing the pieces, you just cut them down to the size you want. It's a flat black, and it's tinfoil, so you can shape it any way you want. You can shape it into a cone if you want to, like, actually use it for the light to just kind of go through there. This isn't a very big piece, but it's a big sheet, and it's a big, like, 1.5 by 12 feet of this stuff that you get in the roll, and it's fantastic. So you can wrap this around a loom cube, tape it in place, or take enough of it to wrap it all the way around, and then you can still focus the light towards your scene, but it's going to block the light from hitting the TV screen and giving you that glare on the screen, which is always a nightmare.
Because I've been trying to just use little poster board, black poster board and stuff, and trying to tape that stuff on, the weight of it and everything has just been
that's the problem. Like, you can use those blocks and those flags and stuff, but they're too big, and they don't really. All you need is a little bit of thing on the light, and you don't want to put this big piece of card because it messes with another piece of the shot or whatever. But so this stuff is fantastic. I highly recommend this.
I may look into that.
Cinefoil, I think that's on my Amazon thing too.
But I kind of want to get a bigger screen. I think your 55-inch is what I was looking at getting around Christmas time, but I couldn't work it out around Christmas time. So when they're all on sale, because I think that would work fine for Hot Toys if I can get it on a table that's the right height. In comparative, to mine, or maybe a stand or something I can put it on.
I would say get a stand that's makes you comfortable for you to shoot, and then go, if you've got the I don't know what kind of IKEA tables you got, but if you can swap out the legs for the adjustable legs, at least.
No, my legs are actually the Alex drawer systems, so they don't move.
Oh, okay.
So I got 4 of those drawer systems because I keep my extra lenses and my lights and stuff.
Even then, you could probably get like a couple of. I mean, I don't know how heavy it is. Can you even lift it to get like a couple of pieces of like plywood underneath the legs or something like that, in case you had to lift it up? You know what I mean? Like, because if you've got the TV fixed, you're going to find times when you want the TV to be higher or lower. Especially for 1/6. 1/6.
1/6.
Oof, it's tough.
Like LED wall, basically. Do 1/6.
I wish at the time I could have gotten 65-inch 4K TVs were insane when I bought this 3 years ago. Now I could probably buy this TV for $100 or something. It's like there's nothing anymore. But
it's something I'll have to look for. And plus, the screen I have is very reflective. But you've already shown me how to get rid of that with cinefoil. So
it's hard to find one of those nice non-reflective. I mean, it's really more of a monitor thing, like a computer monitor, and you can't get those big enough for this. So
but
you can always trade in that Cintiq.
No. But I think we're going to wrap it up for tonight, guys. Trevor, what do you got going on this week, man? Let's let them know. I'm going to give you the camera.
What have I got going on this week? Well, I'm trying to wrap up a shoot and review of the new Nosferatu from Mezcal. It's a pretty cool shot. I'm liking the shot. It's just a matter of me editing all that down to get it up there and be able to break this down and put some more shots up on Instagram, which I haven't done for a week. Other than that, this week this is my week off for YouTube, for my live shows, but next week I'll be back with we hit 1,000 subscribers a couple weeks ago, so we're going to have a celebration show, I think in 2 weeks, like 2 weeks probably from tonight, and have all my co-hosts on to just shoot the shit. But normally I'll have the Legions Lounge, which is we talk all about Mythic Legions on every other Monday, and then on every other Friday we have the 6-pack, the 1/6 pack, where we talk about 1/6, which you've joined us for a few times.
Yeah,
which has been cool.
Send me an invite if you want to have me on there anytime. It's fine.
I'd love to. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that for sure. Yep.
That's if you want.
No, I totally do. Yeah, no, I do. Our guests on that show have been minimal, but we're going to do more of that because there's just so many times you can have a theme You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sometimes there just isn't a theme to talk about, and you just want to talk to somebody. And we like having photographers on too. I mean, I think we kind of gravitate towards that because we're all photographers. But
Well, I felt like the other night when I was watching, I almost took over your whole show. I was like, this is going on, and this is going
no, but that was very helpful.
I was like, did you see this? And blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I felt like I was like, man, do they even want me?
No, of course. Yeah, I interact with the audience, man. I when I'm on these shows, like I watch a lot of shows where sometimes the host hardly even acknowledges that the chat is there. I make that a big part of the show because I mean that's what
I try to keep on top of it myself. It's sometimes a little trying though, but if I don't address it, at least I usually try to link it, and so everybody else can see the.
I know you're trying to do a lot of things at once, but yeah. But for me, that's about it. You know, Instagram. Been on Twitter lately. It's been pretty good. TikTok, hardly at all. Twitter. You can check me out on TikTok if you want to, though.
All right, so all his links are in the description below under his link tree, so you can get his Instagram, his YouTube, his Twitter, all that stuff's in link tree in the description below. And Harry, what do you got going on this week, man? You got any more pictures lined up for us?
Yeah, I have a few collaborations that I'm still doing with a few people, so hopefully that will be up soon. But other than that, yeah, just basically Instagram. I just try and get shots out because, you know, I'm still getting settled in a little bit. But yeah, just.
I see the room becoming more like your room and not just like
yeah. So now I got the desk in, so now it's looking a little bit better. You know, so I
see some Hot Toys boxes and stuff.
Yeah,
last time you were on, it looked like a hotel room. You're like just moving.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a little bit more homey now. So
nice.
All right, and for me, I'll be back Friday for first appearance Friday at 6 p.m. or excuse me, 5 p.m. Eastern. I remember that shows earlier. So this Friday we're talking about the Batman, obviously. First appearance of Batman, you know, Detective Comics number 27, and we'll try to go over a little bit of his history and all that kind of stuff and go over that. So I hope you guys tune in for that. Saturdays it's Toy Talk, so we just talk about whatever's been dropped throughout the week, what's going on. Maybe we mentioned this whole Mr. Musashi had brought in here that Sideshow is planning to announce the Ecto 1. So I'll stand corrected. We'll see if that actually happens. I think Mr. Musashi is getting smoke blown up his butt, to be honest with you, because but I'd love to be wrong. I would. Yeah. It'd been nice if I was wrong before I bought it, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Still get that cheap shipping. You're good.
Yeah, I do. But yeah, exactly. But with that, guys, we're going to get out of here. You guys have a great evening. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you're not even subscribing.
That like.
And
thank you.
We'll see you next time. Peace out.